really are, George. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Oh, God, I can't find the button. I can't find the button to turn it down. Okay, there we go. Yes, hello. Where's my sound? That's, yes. There it is. How about a nice... Oh, yeah, that's the good one. Hello, all. Welcome again to Talking Pirates. It's me, Nate Bestman. And we're going to talk about some pirates today, and I am proud and pleased, as always, to... Let me unmute him so he doesn't fuck up the intro to the stream, as I make effort to avoid doing. Not his responsibility, mine. Fizo's here. Hey, welcome back.
Hello, everyone. Well, thanks for welcoming me back.
Yes, thank you once again, Fizo, for allowing me onto your stream, the Fizo Show, the Talking Pirate Show. I like to do my part. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome anytime, Nate.
Indeed. And, you know, I'll just say, unironically, having you around is great so that I can lambast you and beat you over the head for translation nitpicks that I or other people might have. It's extremely useful. What can I say?
Yes, punching bag.
Yeah, that's right. Well, just, you know, there's going to be inherent ambiguities in translation, and having a guy who is part of the process of translating the translation that we're reading is extremely useful for parsing that, you know, one way or another. So we are delighted to have you, as always. And let me see. What was I going to do? Oh, yes. We'll switch over to the chapter real quick. I have to catch up on our friendly subscribe-type individuals. Okay, here we go over to the chapter. Here we go. Woo!
Thank you, everyone, for being so kind, by the way.
They love a Fizo week, as they're saying there, no doubt. Yummy Orange Slushy, big fan of the new Gamer Zone. Thank you, Slushy. And you all should go listen to that, because it's a good episode of Gamer Zone over on the BGE channel. What can I say? It's a quality piece of work. I worked long and hard on putting together that cast. I had lots of people in mind, but I'm very happy with who we got. Okay, anyway, that's not relevant to right now. What we're talking about is the kind people that subbed, such as, let me see, Epic Psy for 5 months.
Thank you, Baxter.
Agenda Piece is real, and it will harm you. Okay. Jam Joe Marshall, you sunglasses wearing son of a bitch, take these buckaroos.
Thank you, Baxter.
For 9 months. Arigato gozaimasu. Far Faramir for 2 months. It says 2 months in a row, 3 total. 3 months of losing the bet every stream.
Thank you, Baxter.
And with that, I'm a little bit...
I'm the Joker, baby.
I'm basically the Joker, in all ways, including physical. And Reddit Sephiroth, Nate, I have a dangerous secret that will change the entire nature of the secret, entire nature of the series. It's...
Thank you, Baxter.
It's,
Shut up, bitch.
It's unclear. I think Reddit was shot before this happened. How could this have happened to Reddit?
You know, we're living in a society.
It's just not right. And Labrat CC for 9 months says, Fizo, your One Piece live streams are my favorite. Thank you for having Nate over and showing him what's up. I
Absolutely,
certainly
man.
agree.
Thank you,
Love
Baxter.
the buckaroo bits. Thanks for the donation.
Easy money! Don't we all? Let me see. Hype Train is at level 2, guys. Wow, that's amazing. I love watching you get psychologically operated upon to give me more money. So please keep doing that. That's great. Isn't the George clip great? I'm going to play it one more time. It's my new edition.
You know, we're living in a society.
Oh, it hits so good.
I wish I could hear it.
Oh, yeah. One of these days I'll rig it up. Now that I'm actually having guests on regularly, I used to have a thing configured that, like, it channeled the audio through, you know, through friggin' Discord so people could hear it, but I've been too lazy. You can rig it up pretty easily, as I understand it, but... yeah, every time that you guys hear an epic gamer moment, such as...
You know, we're living in a society.
Just know that Fizo is hearing dead silence.
Awkward silence. So I'm hearing going like a mad clown, like, hey guys, listen to this! And then like crickets.
Let me see. Okay. All right, so we are moving on, and we're going to talk about the chapter. Yeah, there's nothing else to do, right? We're going to get into it immediately.
I don't think so. I don't have any housekeeping.
Right on.
Let's go.
Let's do it, guys. So this is chapter 1085, The Death of Nefer Tartar Sauce Cobra. Thank you. I've been Nefertari. I really trip on that one. I really stumble. Oh, of course. That's what I was thinking of, Ranos. That's what I can remember. We have to gamble. Obviously, we have to gamble. That's what
Thank
this
you,
stream
Baxter.
is all about. It's about easy money. So I'm sorry if I already spoiled your impression of the chapter one way or another, everybody, by stating the name of the chapter. I hope that you forgive me. I think we can still aspire to a lack of bias on the vote, because it will be, as always, a purely scientific,
That's pretty good, right?
a you know, psychologically even-keeled operation. So okay,
The
let's
fact
do
that he forgot about the betting.
it's a
shouldn't
bad
bite
sign.
something.
I'm losing
Yeah.
it. Factor that into your analysis of whether you should go to or hack
What
to the
does
stream.
that mean?
The fact
What
that I
does
am
that mean?
losing my mind on
You know,
stream.
we're living in a
Does that mean that
society.
Midda exists for this one chapter?
God, I hope not. God, I hope not. Okay, so let's check last week's bet and see what happens. So last week, the winner was, in fact, Hackta by a few points. It was 54 Hackta, 46 Goda. It was, let's see, our big winner of the night was it Reddit? It was Livesy Knight. Congratulations. And our big loser was Loafus of Bread, winning 50,000 bits and losing 21. Ooh, don't you just love numbers? They just add something, a little je
I
ne
really
sais
like
quoi.
that name, Loafus of Bread. That's cool, right?
Indeed. So let's see if he can fuck up even bigger this stream. So let's begin the bet. All right, you got 30 minutes. God, I wish I could go for like an hour, since you know it takes us an eternity to get through the chapters. If only I had a tool to make it like an hour long or an hour and a half or something. But alas, we do not. So get your votes in, people. Is it Goda or is it Hackta? Now is your time to decide. Begin.
Thank you,
No,
Baxter.
that, I meant to say. No, I meant to say. There it is. Okay. Oh, and
Oh, Loafus just responded in chat.
who is it? Oh, Lofus? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, Mathep donated $10 and says, cool beans.
Thank you, Baxter.
Thank you, Baxter. Can we get some TYBs in the chat, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you very much.
Can
Okay.
I ask who Baxter is?
Who is?
Baxter.
Who is Baxter? This guy doesn't even know
Yeah.
who
Thank you,
Baxter.
Baxter.
I have no idea.
Well, okay. In short, Baxter is a. Oh wait, which one is Baxter? He's one of Patrick Bateman's allies from American Psycho that Paul Allen is responding to. I think he's that first guy. He says like nice suit, nice. Oh no! Congratulations! It's on like the Fisher account or whatever it was. It was one of those guys in their, you know, the business cards. Have you seen American Psycho, Fizo?
No.
Oh my God! How
Thank
is
you,
this possible?
Baxter.
Okay, well, you should put that on your to-watch list. Only
doing work.
only the Titans of Intellect are allowed on this stream, so we'll have to check in on you and make sure you're doing your homework properly.
I do recognize The Rock from the "Shut Up" line.
Well, that's good. Okay, you're getting some of the references. Good. Do you get this one? Oh wait, you're not going to hear it, but
You know, we're living in a society.
you know, we're living in a society, and I'll give you a hint. It's said within a Chinese restaurant. Do you know what that's from?
It's dumb for me on this one.
It's George Costanza from Seinfeld, of course. Come
I already
on.
have to answer for the translation stuff here.
Okay, all right. We won't torch you anymore. Okay, so let's begin the chapter for real. Here we go. It's the year of Frankie. Continues on, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. So let's.
Look at him saluting.
Here it is. There he is. We've really done it. So Frankie encouraging hatchling turtles on their way to the sea by Mount Apple. Mildly cute. Drawn, unfortunately, in Oda's recent style of scuff piece, but it is cute, and I like it well enough. So, the year of
Japanese was
Frankie.
obviously Ringo Yama. But you can read Yama as San, which is why some people call Mount Fuji Fuji-san.
Oh, was there a reference I'm not getting there of like Ringo Yama or something?
Yeah, it's Ringo Yama.
Oh, yeah,
and
okay.
Yama can be read as San in some contexts, which is why some people say Fuji-san, like like the mountain's a person.
You know, I have not gotten
Yeah.
further in my moon rune studies to understand kind of why. Is it like an anthropomorphization thing? I always assumed it was like a language thing.
Yeah, and it's
I don't
very
know.
common, especially for young children, to call it like Fuji-san.
Mm-mm.
Like
It's like a
over there.
friendship thing. It's like their best
Yeah.
buddy, Mount Fuji. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
all right, that's cool.
Just please don't erupt on us.
Oh, I didn't even notice Frankie is sitting on
Yeah,
a crab
he
upside
beat up the
down.
crab
Oh,
and
got
let them
owned.
get-
Oh, because crabs eat turtles on their way to the sea.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Meanwhile, that crab is going to starve to death and die. I learned of this from the flashback in Trigun. You have to let the spider consume the butterfly, or else you're interfering with the natural cycle of evolution. This is what Star Trek's
Wrong,
Prime
Nash.
Directive is all about, right?
That's
I
wrong, Knives. Everything deserves to live, Knives.
Yeah. All right. Let's begin the chapter in force. Here we go. So we got a bunch of noobs, TCB scans translating this chapter. Don't care or like any of those people. No, sir. No, not at all.
We got an extra translator this week, Ivan.
Oh yeah, was it?
Intel Primu.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. Ivan and Raimu for translating, and everybody else for doing your really good job. Appreciate that.
And we got an Uta note.
It is. Oh, you're right. It is. I finally got to speak to Akutami-san properly for the first time at the Tezuka Awards. And Akutami is the singer, right? Oh wait, no, that's the Jujutsu Kaisen author.
Yes.
Who is, as I understand, of debated sexual
personage. Which is why I use they.
I mean, it makes sense. It's genuinely ambiguous. Sounds weird in English, but that is the case. And so they've really got their head on straight. A totally genuine person. This being the author of Jujutsu Kaisen, of which very little is known. What do you know about that? Nicely done. It does not reference Uta, which is definitely a strike against the chapter.
One of my favorite Oda notes was when he was like, "My father watched film Red, and apparently he cried. I was so surprised he got it."
I mean, in all honesty, you're something of a One Piece fan, Fizo. Were you moved to tears by One Piece film Red?
No.
But, maybe it's that he's like, wow, my son has made a really impressive thing here. Yeah,
my
that's
son
fine.
has just made $1 billion.
He sure has. I would weep if my son made $1 billion too.
No, but I could see why, because like it is like an emotional ending. I could see like a sappy person crying at it.
Sure.
I just don't generally cry at fiction much. I mean, I think One Piece actually got me one time, and that was Brook's flashback, and I don't think anything else has ever got me.
Oh, that, no doubt. That's one of the pinnacles of the series, without question. So, I could certainly understand that. I'm trying to think. I'm a big crier when something gets mildly emotional. So, I'm sure I cried it multiple times throughout One Piece. Nothing comes to mind immediately, though. Probably Brook. I think even today, I will sometimes just think about Laboon and Brook's backstory, and I will just have a fit of weeping just quietly to myself. So that's the kind of guy I am.
I'll be honest, I don't think manga can make me cry. Like, I think
so you mean like the anime of Bink Sake?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because you need the song.
I mean, it goes a long way. I'm sure that I've cried. I think I cried a little bit reading like Lucifer and Biscuit Hammer. Not at the anime abortion that fucked up and ruined everything. I mean, with the manga 10 years ago.
Manga can make me angry. It can make me laugh. It can make me excited. I don't think it can make me sad.
Oh, you know what? The people are making a good point. Mary's death. That might have been a moment when, especially in the anime. I mean, I watched the anime for that scene, so for the first time I consumed it. Okay, anyway, we'll get deeper into this another day. Right now, we've got a chapter to get to, and gambling money to, what's the word? Embezzle? No, that's not it. Money launder. That's what I was looking for. All right, so let's begin with everyone's favorite character, Cobra. Oh, and let's see what the vote's at, just for fun right now. The vote is currently at 63% Goda, 37% Hecta. What do you know? Oh, man, people are going heavy. Oh, on 50K on both sides. Livesy and Metali Pudron. Okay, let's see if anybody can beat him.
This is Cobra reacting to Midda existing.
No. That can't be right. I guess, the existence of Midda is roughly equivalent to the shock that you would feel of Eam existing. So I guess that's fair. Okay, so no one is ever supposed to sit there. Yes, so Eam walked out and sat upon the throne. So, okay, that's a big shocking moment. No individual should have control over the world, of course. And and here's already a fun translation thing that was kind of weird, and I asked you about, and you were kind enough to supply the translation thing. This Mu bit here about like Mu shall address. This is Eam speaking. Mu shall address two of the points being discussed, and thou shalt answer a single question in return, Cobra. So yeah, like I did my own little translation as well, and it seemed to match yours. But you want to just like quickly explain kind of how that looked?
Yeah. So he just he says Mu. No, not Imu. Other characters call him Imu. Mu can generally be used for this isn't spoiler, but in Death Note, one of the rules of the Death Note is when you die, you go to Mu. You become nothingness. So Mu is generally nothingness, void, emptiness, like just that existential, like nothing. And
Indeed.
It can also be a very, very rare reading of Yume, dream, It's the Onyomi reading for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we put that into because he is a pretty like ancient character. Maybe
It seems that way. Yeah.
The intention would be, for people who don't know, kanji in Japanese have two readings.
The kunyomi and the onyomi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And kunyomi is the Japanese reading, the more, I don't want to say modern, but like that's how like Japanese people would read the word.
I mean, it's the Chinese reading is the
yes,
the,
and onyomi is the
onyomi.
Chinese reading.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And just for those who can, I mean, read a little, I just pulled it up on screen. You can see, so the word in question is this moo. This is the sounds like moo up top, and this line means to like drag out the sound. So it's just going moo kara, which I think means like from moo. And then from the context of the sentence, you can just kind of tell that they're referring to themselves. So that's where it comes from. It is weird and is yet unclarified, like exactly what that means. But as you said, there are theories that have already begun. The one piece, the moo piece is real. And so people can continue to theorize as we learn more. But there's no mistake. There's no contradiction here. Everyone has called emu up to this point. And now emu is like referring to themselves as moo for whatever reason. So there you go.
Yes, and you don't know like how scared you are when you're like, "Ooh, is it? Are people gonna think I missed the I?"
Right. So I'm putting the translation note here. Very wisely done. Very wisely done. And even with the translation note spelling out, I mean, people were still like, "What's going on?" I mean, I personally was like, I wanted to like check the original myself because it's weird because it's deliberately
this
weird.
can't be right. DCV must have screwed up. We
Wouldn't
know
be the
it.
first time for these guys.
We also choose thou because he uses a this is a very formal way of saying you. He uses nushi, but he adds an a to it, so nushia.
I see.
Which is a very formal way of saying you, and I guess the closest we can come up with in English is thou. It's slightly modified, but like I don't want to be like Taoist or something, like coming up with something completely different. So
Yeah, sure.
yeah, so I use thou, so it's formal, old-fashioned, and kind of mixes with the voice that I was going for him.
And of course,
yeah.
Okay, go on. I was going to comment on something.
I was going to say moo is also an extended u sound, whereas it's not really an emu.
Right. So that they are different in their construction. And I was just going to say the way of speaking. Yeah, my Japanese is not advanced enough to like be able to parse like how they sound, if they sound modern or archaic or whatever. But this sure seems like it's lending credence to the idea of Im being a very, very old person, perhaps 800 or 900 years old, as one would expect that Im seems to be building up to being.
But there is a sense of self-importance to referring to yourself in third person. I know a lot of people associate it with like high school girls being like Sakura mad or something.
I suppose that's because that's like the ubiquitous kind of anime that most people are familiar with. But there are other ways to speak. The royal we is like an English version of that. You would say we for the kingdom or whatever it is. Yeah. So something like that is going on here, it seems. So there you go, people. There's your lesson. So Cobra is seething and coping, absolutely embarrassing himself down here, below Im-sama's glory. And let's see what he has to say for himself. It could be a coincidence, but I recognize the name Imu from the history of the first 20. Now, again, so you guys made a little update to this line because you thought it was a little ambiguous. Yeah.
No, it's like, okay, so like 99%.
You're covering your bases, I understand. Yeah.
99% he's saying, like anyone who reads the sentence in Japanese, pretty much all of our translators, our translation QCs, they're like, yeah, he's definitely asking, he's definitely saying what the name is among one of the first 20, and then he's asking about that. And you get that a lot in Japanese where they'll like trail off on an obvious question. But like, you know, there's always the very, very remote chance, like the 1% chance, which isn't what Oda's going for because he wouldn't have brought it up this way if he was. But there's like a 1% chance that it could be like among the first 20's worst enemies or something. So,
right. The way that it's framed, you're trying to be really safe and be like, maybe he means it in a slightly different way. But in all likelihood, it is probably referring to the 20
he
founders.
is one of the names of the 20 founders.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I made more an implication. If you were to read it in Japanese, you would, like, 99 times out of 100, you would read it as he's one of the first 20.
And I would be very surprised if Stephen Paul does not translate it as just like of the 20 founders or something like that. I'll be curious to see what they're.
I mean, maybe he'll trail off too, because Stephen Paul has
yeah.
been. He's the translator of One Piece for anyone not aware. He has been a bit more literal in recent chapters, and I think part of that is to not want to get burned again from reveals that haven't happened, and so many reveals are happening back to back, right? Like,
do you have any incidents that come to mind of him particular being burned or making mistakes or anything?
Well, there are terms, like he spelled rocks as ROX.
Right, sure.
That's to this day like that. There are, like, okay, yeah, I do have one. With in the chapter where the Holy Knights are first mentioned, if you go back to it, it's 1054. If you look at the Viz version, they say the culprit or enemy or whatever was excused by Saint Doflamingo Moscardo or whatever his name is. When it could have been culprits plural, which it turned out to be with Sai
right.
Leo.
And that is a meaningful distinction. That is
yeah. So, like, if you look at Viz's 1054, they'll say in singular.
And of course, the embarrassing official translation of Tanjihado Lu Flamingo from the early days. That, they haven't recovered from that one, but I kind of liked it better myself. I think it fits the character better.
I think one of the more famous ones was, like, there was something to do with Onigashima flying or something.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't actually read most of the official, so I wouldn't know.
But I think, like, they had Kaido say something slightly wrong, and it turned out to be a very literal Kaido is going to pick it up and make it fly.
Sure.
Like
Give him some leeway, though, people. It's kind of hard to know all the time. They got to guess a little bit.
The thing is with Viz is, like, they're mostly just as in the dark as anyone else. So, like, like,
people say that, like, they've got Oda's ear. I do not think that's the case.
They absolutely don't. Like, if you listen to Steven on the One Piece podcast where he appears regularly, he's very much speculating sometimes. Like, I remember when Tsunachi, the Ki came up, and he was like, I don't really know whether Oda has a deeper meaning with the Ki here, so we just left it in Japanese.
Wisely done. In that case.
And he was able to brilliantly twist it into, like, a anagram.
I remember that. Impressive translation work.
Definitely patched over it. But they don't get notes for, like, specific things. They will get something like, Zoro's bounty was misprinted. We are going to correct that.
Right.
That's pretty much it. Like, they don't have a direct line to Oda. They probably have a direct line to Jump.
And speaking of mistakes here, Ranos' good point that the mistranslation of the Nika fruit as the Gum fruit for many years, now that was a little bit embarrassing, it must be said. Thank God they finally corrected that. Only 24 years later, I think, at the time.
God, that was, like, Laugh Tale as well, just embarrassing.
So embarrassing, right? Okay, so we've addressed the great controversy of this line here. And so Im replies thusly to Cobra, such curiosity of Cobra's teeters on impertinence. It will not be dignified, blah, 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 being very royal and ambiguous about who they are and stuff. Yeah.
I think I might have played this up a bit, because, like, the Japanese is don't pry, don't push your luck, don't be too, like, impertinent. Impertinence is a good way of saying it. I will not answer, but it's not because Japanese, you don't need to do that. It will be like no answer is given. But you can't say that in English to make sense.
Right.
So the way I constructed it was, it will not be dignified with an answer, is like staying the conclusion without having to reinsert, because I can't have him say I, because we know he doesn't do that. He says mu, and I don't want him to say mu twice when he doesn't. So I constructed it in a slightly weird way, using the vocabulary that we've, like, what we've gleaned of how he speaks. So this is what we've settled on.
Interestingly, I noticed that you lean into the he reference for Eam, and I'm just wondering what brings you to that conclusion, if anything.
Like for me, it's just I can't see Luffy like his final enemy. Like I see it as like a very long.
Don't you mean
fight.
final 10th crew member joining the crew? It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be totally sick.
Basically, I just don't think Oda would have Luffy's final fight be a woman. I just don't think.
Well, I guess that gets into the speculation of if Eam will be a fight, the final fight. What will that conflict look like? Definitely,
I think it has to be, right? Because like I feel like
it makes sense. It would make sense.
Blackbeard is his rival, like the rival D, the one who is going after One Piece with Luffy, and the world will be shaken up after One Piece is found, according to Whitebeard.
Yeah,
and like we can't just have Luffy match Roger. We can't just have him get to Laugh Tale and retire.
He's gonna take the next step. No
yeah,
doubt,
because
doubt.
Roger was like, "We came here too soon. That's a shame."
Yeah.
Like, obviously, there is something which you do with One Piece and the Mermaid Princess and stuff. And if they weren't too early, they could have done it. So I think Luffy's. Like, whatever they learn, however outrageous the history is, it'll make Luffy want to, like, beat up Emu. And
well, I could certainly see that happening, but okay. Well, we'll circle back to these thoughts, people. So,
yeah.
Okay. So, Eam continues to speak, was going to give some information to Cobra, and saying, okay, so here's the questions. So, this D thing, okay, we're getting some lore discussion now. D is the moniker of our ancient enemy. Now, is that something that we didn't know for sure? I think that that Rocinante was the first one to basically confirm that was the case. That the D stands for, like, opposition to God or something, which we have inferred is the Celestial
mortal
Dragons.
Enemies.
Right, God's enemy. Okay, so
Cobra wouldn't know this, though. I don't
right. That's true. That's true. And so in recent times, it's cropped up more frequently. However, it is nothing but a faint echo. Those who carry the name do not even know of its true meaning now, right? Including us. We don't know the specifics
The Japanese for faint echo is they are a shell or a husk or like the dead skin of what came before. And I felt like, saying it's like a shell of itself, like it's got different connotations in English.
It does.
I went with echo so that like, it's like no longer like as clear to what it was.
And people are asking why bring up the D. I mean, let's not forget, Oda is doing a lot of recapping lately. And, a little line thrown in here to add to it, I mean, might be appropriate. I don't think it's like the end of the world.
It's also because Cobra asked. It's the last thing.
Cobra would also not know this information. So, it fits pretty well, I think. Like, I'm not going to begrudge Oda one speech bubble with one sentence. If you stack a lot of those together, then I think, well, okay, this is a little bit of a waste of time. But this is fine. This is fine. Okay, so irritation only endures about the D clan, right? Due to Queen Lily's grave blunder 800 years ago. A blunder? And the same can be said for those irksome scholars investigating the so-called Void Century. Right, okay, so Lily was involved somehow in this happening. Let's just get right to that. Without that blunder, there would be no pirates chasing the poneglyphs in pursuit of treasure either, if it were not for Lily's incompetence specifically. So anybody who thought that Eam might be Lily, not looking that way at this moment. Those vexing relics would have never been scattered all over the world. And I'll just read the next line too. The release of the poneglyphs was the worst possible outcome for us, so one must wonder whether it was truly a mistake or part of some larger plan. Okay, so...
Yeah, this is a big lore dump. Like, what did she do to accidentally leak the poneglyphs in Eam's eyes?
Well, of course, like, I mean, frankly, I know people are kind of leaning into that, but immediately Eam was like, it didn't actually seem like a mistake. I just think that there was no mistake, and it just was exactly intentional.
It was intentional. Yeah.
But I guess for them to think that it could have been a mistake,
so there must have been something.
Right.
Like, it must have been like Lily didn't get there in time to prevent the Shandians or the Minks or whoever from shipping them off. And he was like,
that.
Damn it, Lily, how could you not leave in time? You're such an incompetent fool. But it really turned out she was in cahoots with
Damn it, Lily.
Or something. Like, it's got to be something like that.
Why did you have to poison yourself and shoot yourself in the back of the head 3 times? Why did that happen? Why did you do that to yourself, Lily? It's going to be one of those situations.
It's got to be something.
Yeah, and they're building up, like, Alabasta feels like it's being pulled a little bit back into the relevance, which, to be fair, was kind of implied ever since we saw Eam the first time with the poster of Vivi there. So, like, this is which I guess was during Reverie, right? So
I mean, this is a huge deal, right? We are putting the pirates hunting poneglyphs, the fact that all these scholars are investigating the Void Century, so O'Hara happening.
Yep.
And the fact that the D name persists to this day, all at Lily's fleet. So she's basically credited with propagating the will of D and the poneglyphs. So that makes her a huge deal.
And I have theories that this chapter has helped sort of finalize about what D actually is. So when we get to Cobra speaking to that, let's take a moment and discuss what we think of the whole D thing in general. But let's move a little bit further first. So, okay, the truth undoubtedly lies as to what went down, Lily releasing the poneglyphs, etc., is in the letter that Lily left. So pray tell, was it a deliberate choice? Was it a deliberate choice to only refer to her as Queen Lily of House Nefertiti, but she had a bigger name as seen in the letter? What could it be? Okay, and here's Cobra. Oh no, they're gonna kill me now. It's over. Oh yeah, you want to comment?
This seems like Imu was like. Not 100% certain. Like he had always like suspected Lily was a traitor, and now he wants to confirm whether or not she signed off in that letter, in that private letter, as an enemy of his with the D.
Having read or having spent more time with the Japanese, I mean, I've spent none with this particular section. It's interesting that you have that impression because it seems like another plausible read here is that Eam is like. Is certain, but is kind of playing with Cobra to get the information out as well. Yeah.
I feel like Eam knows, but he wants to hear it. He wants to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Sure.
And
Cobra's fate is sealed now, so they can just do whatever they want with Cobra.
I'm sure for years he's festered and hated Lily for the poneglyphs getting out. So he just wants absolute confirmation it was intentional and she did take on the D name. And I think this chapter low-key confirms that D is an adopted title which you take on.
It does look that way. It does.
And then it carries on through the family after that point.
And that makes a lot of sense because, for example, we've got a giant D. That doesn't seem like it fits a specific so that kind of makes sense, looking at how it's panned out. And then it could have we'll get into it a little bit more about the point of it and stuff. Okay, so here's Cobra. I'm not going to be able to get out of this. There he is accepting. He's coping and seething right now. Saw Eam. It's over for you. So he's going to tell the truth or whatever. They're not going to let me go. I've seen Eam. It's the world's biggest taboo. And here's your boy Sabo. Peeking in. Sa-Debo. There he is. Peeking in. The letter from Alabasta's ruler 8 centuries ago was signed by, says Cobra, Queen Nefertiti D. Lily. Wow, there's another D person just calls out of the fucking woodwork. What do you know about that? Incredible.
I'm more astonished that there's a fart in her name.
A what? I pronounce it that way. I don't know. Nefertiti. That's. Wait, where's my sound? T Lily. I played a fart sound effect. You couldn't hear it, but they could. So we've got more D's. The looks like the Nefertaris.
Or should we wait until he?
Well, I'm happy to comment on this briefly, which is that I find this to be a little bit of a what's his name, Jaguar D Saul situation. Actually, his D has nothing to do with it, but him surviving in the way he did. Is far from the biggest ass pull in the series. It's not that big an ass pull on its own. The ice, that deadly ice that Akainu, or rather Aokichi, killed so many people with. Oh man, everybody's dying to that ice. Okay, literally 0 kills as far as we know in the series, except for Saul, who, shocker, seems to have survived. So on its own, that's a little bit annoying that Well, what's annoying about it is that Oda has had a habit of bringing characters back from the dead that really should be dead, and there's no good reason for them to be alive other than we're past the arc where it made sense in the emotional moment where they were dying. Take your pounds, your poundy pussies, or your Bon Clays. It just, how they're alive, not addressed, doesn't make sense. And Pell, all these things. So the point being that Saul's survival specifically is really not that bad by its own, but is kind of annoying when it's stacked next to these other survivals and then like another one happens. In the same vein, it's that Vivi's family here turning out to have D's on its own is not the worst thing in the world. It's like kind of okay, but I mean the guy that brings it up, the moment where I lost patience was when Oda just fucking slapped a D on Law's name. When he put a D in Law's name, I was like, that's it. You've jumped the shark. I'm annoyed. That was not the intention of this character. You'll just give it to anybody to make it more fun and interesting and cool. And so moments like that made me maybe a little bit jaded about a reveal like this that would come later. It's not it's a secret goddamn name. How many goddamn secret names do we have to deal with? Okay, so that's my point. This on its own is really not that bad, especially with our evolving understanding of D. I happen to think that it does seem to be like an adopted moniker that we'll get into like why it exists in a little bit. But yeah, that's my thought. What do you think? What do you think?
I'm mostly in agreement. I mean, did Law need the D moniker? By the way, it's really weird that the wiki doesn't list Lamy and his sister and his parents as D's.
I guess it was never confirmed, so you know, it's I don't know. Like, of course they must be, right? There's no way they couldn't be, unless they're like, no, son, you're the special one. We are normal guys, and we don't matter. So yeah.
Okay, but regarding that, like, like, I feel like it only makes sense for the Nefertaris to be secretly D's, considering how they hid away Poneglyphs and stuff. If our read of it is correct.
Well, don't act like enemy. It has to be this way. There are many other ways you could wrap it.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
but I think it makes sense. So I don't have a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm wondering is, first of all, what I want to check is, does Cobra die smiling? Because I want to double check that.
Now that gets into an interesting debate that I was having with the boys in the lab, and we were talking about. Yeah, I think Fig was the one who mentioned this, and I agree with it. A lot of our I guess suppositions, our ideas of like what makes a D a D.
Yeah.
The thing is, these two things can't exist at once. On one hand, D is an adopted name that people just took on as like a symbolic thing, and two, D's share a set of characteristics that are very similar, and like those things don't make sense.
Well, I don't
mesh,
think they share any characteristics other than they don't like the world government, and they smile when they die.
I mean, I want to talk about
and I think the
tradition
smile when they die thing is just Oda thematics. It's just showing that someone is happy, pleased with the way their life ended.
The thing, people rightly pointed out, lots of other characters actually also died, or we saw them very close to their final moments with smiles on their faces. So somebody out there pointed out that, like, somebody else. Actually, they are all secret Ds, as it turns out. Every character who died.
Thing, right?
I mean,
I would
Belmare, for example.
absolutely not be surprised in the slightest
Bruh.
if Kozuki, if whatever Tengu dude.
You know, we're living
was
in
like,
a society.
I never got to tell Odin this because he came back late. But our real name is Kozuki D.
O-D-N. Oh my god.
So you're Kozuki D, Mononosuke.
I'll be honest with you.
Because I would not be surprised, considering what a pivotal role the Kozuki played in carving out the poneglyphs in the first place. I mean, if it's an adopted letter, they almost have to be. They almost have to be. So Odin is one which I'm like, put an asterisk there. I wouldn't be surprised if next time we see Momonosuke, it's mentioned.
Well, once you start describing it this way, it starts to get to this thing. And the thing is, people are gonna just tell me that I'm like a doomer and a hater, and I just don't like, I'm not enjoying the series the right way. But when it starts to get into something like that, it starts to make me think, like, aren't we kind of watering down this thing that has been like in the story for a very long time? And I don't dislike the idea of it being an inherited thing. I like that, but you have to handle it kind of delicately to maintain meaning in it. And so, like, for example, when Law got it, I was like, what the fuck, man? This is just like, I guess anyone can do it, or Oda is just going to give it to people to yes, thank you, Clyde, for pointing that out. I appreciate that. I don't know. I just feel like care should be taken with very old plot devices that this isn't even a thing about like Oda's like fucking it up or ruining it. That's not the point. It's that I can get tired of a plot device if it's kind of thrown around willy-nilly. Yeah, I guess that's sort of the point.
I think I'll be fine with it if it's just used as we're already assuming it is, with people whose ancestors historically opposed the world government in Emu.
It would make sense. It would make sense.
If that's the case, I'll be fine. But if it's like every Straw Hat ends up having it,
well, yeah.
Then, yeah, okay.
I will continue to... I might like it and be like, okay, this isn't that big a deal. Yeah. But I will, as everybody knows I do, I will roll my eyes every time Vivi is... Who, by the way, Vivi was not a princess when first introduced. She was just Miss Wednesday. Turns out she was a secret princess. Turns out she was a secret D-Clan member, baby. She's got it all. Layer upon layer.
I want to get away from the whole D's are the chosen one thing, because I do think whoever has to find the One Piece will be a D, and they're the ones who will carry it forward. But I don't think it's because of like they've got a chosen bloodline so much as like that's just the appropriate thing. Like the person who sees it through is a descendant or someone who opposed thingy like. It's less that they were chosen and more like that's a fitting ending for one of their ancient enemies to come back.
Okay, too many things are about to happen for me to like go away and come back. So I just want to talk about this right now, I guess. The whole thing about the D's, because I mean, whatever, we're just skipping ahead a little bit. We'll come back to it. But he's like, yeah, we have the D member or the D letter in our names, the Nefertari family. So like Vivi probably has it. Cobra probably has it. Vivi might literally not know that she has it, but like it's written in stone or something.
He has no idea.
Yeah. So what's in a name? If you don't know that it's your name, is it even your name? I don't know. I guess so. Yes. Okay. So here's the point I want to make about this that I like and I think is cool, and this is how I kind of now imagine the D thing to work out. I envision the whole D thing. Here's my answer to the larger D question. What D is, my current working theory, is that it is an adopted moniker that like 800 years ago after the Void Century, maybe the people from it's possible that like the people of that one kingdom, the mysterious kingdom, that kingdom that got wiped off the map, like maybe the royal family of them like are the monkey family, like that's possible. Like I don't know, I don't really care.
I really don't think so.
Maybe not. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just it could be people from there. It could be just allies of theirs, like the Nefertari family, like the Kozuki family. All those guys being involved. I think that as we're seeing, Lily did here. Well, we don't know this for sure, but it looks like she adopted the D into her name. This could be wrong, but based on how it looks this chapter, I think that she adopted the D into her name at some point there, and she was like, "This is my new name. I take it on." And it's a little bit of a clunky plot device, but whatever. I mean, why even do that? I guess you keep it a secret with your family. But this gets to my point. What I imagine the point of it is, and it does wear a little. It is a little nonsensical, and it doesn't really work that well, I guess. But I'll say it anyway. It's that I think what D is like a tradition, and it is a tradition that like these people. It's like the Skypeans, or what are the Native American people from the
Shandians.
The Shandians, yeah. Like they have like tribal tattoos, right? Why do they get those tattoos? I don't know. It's just like what their tribe does, and so I'll follow that thing myself. I think that what the D is, it's going to be an extremely low resolution tradition handed down among certain families, meant to identify them as like opponents of the world government that in no way like changes them or shapes them, but it sort of just like recognizes that like this family exists in opposition to to the world government or something.
And I think it's also initially was meant to be a secret, so it's like a speakeasy, like you put the code
but
in, like,
let me I've got a huge problem with that immediately though. Because you do not get to choose if you're a pirate. You do not choose if you are a D or not. You might, and I mean, Luffy has no idea what it means. Does Garp know what it means to be? Does anyone know anymore?
I don't think. No, but that's the point.
Right, that's the thing. That information got lost
English
over
make-
time, probably.
Yeah, so people whose ancestors opposed the world government, they were either killed off without passing it on, or the knowledge was lost due to censorship for the millennia, and so it's left there as inherited will.
Hey, we've got we've got Treble and Based in the chat here, reporting in from Japan. Hey, go over to Oda's house. Do me a favor, Based. Tell him that he fucked up this chapter, all right, and to rewrite it to my specifications. I'll be sending you an envelope with the next chapter that reveals that everything since Haki was all a dream, and we begin Adventure Piece once again on our way to Elbaf immediately. That's how it's going to be. Okay, so I'm sorry.
I'm actually going to Japan in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, where are you going? Are you going to Oda's house also?
Dude, I'm going all over. I'm
Sick, dude.
visiting all the major sites in Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka, Hiroshima.
Yo, they busted that country open since they were closed for so long, and everybody's going.
Yeah.
I'll be there before too long. I promise you. I promise you. Sick, man. Look, sounds good.
This is the second time in history where Japan's isolationist policy has ended. They opened the border. Odin's dream.
I doubt it's even the second time, but yes, we have to open the border, guys, just like in One
Can you
Piece.
imagine if Oda timed Wano to end with when COVID's
That would
open
be-
border ended?
You're
Someone
right.
needs to look at the dates.
Actually, guys,
Oda-
just so you know, Oda was the main force keeping Japan from opening up, just like Momonosuke in Wano.
Yeah.
He was the guy.
Just wait. Hold off until I finish Wano.
It's gonna be
the
really.
backflap.
It's gonna be like Ludo narrative
Yeah.
synergy, guys. It's gonna be so sick. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's good stuff.
It's gonna create so much hype and so many like fans
So many
will rush
reaction
over here.
pogging faces and YouTube thumbnails. You're gonna
Yeah.
love it, guys. You're gonna love it. Namely, chiefly mine among them, no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll come out and say I think D is pretty much just Dawn. I think it's
Dawn,
people
yeah.
who await the dawn.
It easily could be.
I'm sure if you were to ask World Noble, they
Mhm.
will say, "Oh, they're the devils," because I think
Oh, sure.
I think without a doubt, or I'm very certain that however the devil fruits were initially made, they were made by the ancient kingdom. So I think if you were to ask the world nobles, they'll say, "Oh, they're the devils. They made the devil fruits." And the devil
Makes
fruits,
sense.
if made wrong, they make smiles, they make you laugh forever, and all the D's die laughing and laugh tail.
They're
There's a
kind
lot
of doing that
laughter.
thing as you see all the time in
Yeah.
Japanese media, where like the gods and the angels and those guys are the bad guys,
Yeah.
the devils are the good guys, the scrappy
Right.
underdogs. Yeah.
So I think for sure, like from the world government's perspective, they will say it stands for devil.
Mhm, mhm.
But from anyone who adopts the letter to themselves, the true meaning will be dawn, and
Sure.
it's to make that devil race, the race that created the devil fruits. It's to remember their sacrifice, to remember how they fell, and to oppose the people who overthrew them. So I agree with you completely. It's to
It's looking that
herald
way.
the dawn.
yeah.
It's so you adopt the letter D to signal to other families that yes, we're also in the opposition. And eventually, it was discovered the knowledge was censored and people just forgot about it. Or so like, yeah, basically, I think that's how it is. And like passing the name down, I don't think it's removing agency, but it's indicating the inherited will to your descendants. Like this is what we wanted.
True, but I will say, do you feel any resistance? Do you feel anything that's a little bit strange about a lineage based like phenomenon when One Piece is so much about like personal choice making and
Yeah.
like not
But
having
then again,
obligation?
if
You know what I
if
mean?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah, but just because you have the letter in your name doesn't mean that you have to act on it. Ace will say later in the chapter, "A name's a name. Who cares?"
Right,
And
right.
most of these end up living their lives, and like Luffy ends up saving people by coincidence.
But let me
Not
ask you
by
this, though.
coincidence, but he's like, "Oh, I did what I want, and people happen to benefit."
Actually, you know what? A
I'm not
Future
the
Mech's
hero.
post here. I was going to ask a question. Future Mech actually made a good point. Like the will of D, right? Like that's the thing we heard ever since Kureha, whatever, talked about it in Dramild. I was going to say, like, how does being a D in any way distinguish you from people that aren't a D if you do not know the history? And I guess they would say there probably is something about that initial that like in maybe like a spiritual way or like a magical way or something makes you like a little bit different. I mean, I don't know, like, because the will of D has been discussed for a long time. It clearly is. There's like something to that. It's not like literally nothing. You just have a D in your name. But I guess that's the mystery of it, right?
I don't think you quite lose the chosen family aspect if it is a chosen name. Like, you are,
Well, sure.
in a way, choosing to be associated with this idea.
But can you?
And I think,
yeah, go ahead.
I think maybe the reason D's end up being special is that they come from these families with like independent streaks and that value freedom and doing nothing. Because like even like Luffy, right, who has no contact with his dad and his grandfather, that in a way is shaping him because he's given total autonomy from like the age of 7.
Sure.
Pretty much, which would shape a person to a degree. So I feel like the way people raise themselves, like raise their children, raise the next generation, etc., etc. Like, I think that's probably a theme of the series, like whether or not they're related or not.
I mean, going back to my point about like
it
tradition,
just trends. Yeah, it's a tradition for people from D lineages.
It's a very low resolution way of conveying information into the future. That like that's the point of traditions in general. They convey
and it's a way which the world government can't censor. Like, they can destroy every history book, all knowledge of it.
Yeah,
but they can't destroy like the feeling of a family.
And I'll strawman, or I'll steelman rather that point in one more way, which is that if you, it's not that random families started adding a D to their name. Maybe somebody did. I guess it's possible. It's that like probably a specific group of people, maybe like royal families or something like that. That's why I said that, like, maybe it's the royal family of that like extinguished kingdom is like Luffy's ancestors. I mean, it's possible because it's not going to be random people. It's going to be people that were involved in this phenomenon, probably, that decided like, we are going to label ourselves and we'll keep it a secret. That so some of the world government is probably aware. I guess this actually does raise the concern. This really does need to be a secret, or else why in God's name would the world government not have wiped out everyone with a D in their name 800 years ago? Because like Luffy was just hanging around. There were probably like Marines around.
Genocide. Yeah, I feel like I feel like that's pretty much like the point. Like, I feel like it's only like I don't want to say come to their attention recently, but like
it was a secret. I think they probably intentionally didn't let them know as much as they could.
And by the time they realized how they were communicating with each other, that all these troublesome people all have a D.
They were already gone. They were out there in the world. And,
they're already out there, or like D's had like died down to the point where like they don't even know like why they have it anymore, so they don't want to make a big deal of it. Something like that.
I mean, frankly, well, it's a little similar to the whole Nika thing. Why didn't they track down the Nika? Whatever, similar reasons. And I
mean, they tried to track down the fruits.
Well, as soon as they knew there was
a will of its own,
they knew. We debated this, I've debated with people, but they knew that the Gum fruit was actually the Nika fruit. The way this wasn't a new discovery for the Gorosei. They were aware of this connection. At least the way it's presented in Chapter 4 at like 10:45 or whatever.
I really want to revisit the translation of that because it makes it sound like the Gorosei don't know that's like they're like, how could the world government do? Like, I actually like, I think I did revisit it and I came up with something slightly more ambiguous. Because the way it's phrased both in TCB and in Viz at the moment,
you're a hacked apologist, Fizo.
Makes it seem like, oh, we just like got word that the Gomu fruit is the thingy fruit. But like,
what's the old saying, Fizo? Never assume Goda when Hackta is a possibility. I think that's how it goes.
But like, why would they sack? Why would they sack friggin' who's who? If they don't realize what a big deal
is.
Is it just
I'll
like
tell you
any
why.
Fruit?
Because this story was not planned from Chapter 1. That's the reason. That's the reason why there's some inconsistencies here and there with those old plot lines. Okay, we'll hash more of that out in the future. Okay, let's focus a little bit on what's next. Okay. Okay. So Sabo is witnessing this. He's seeing what's going on. All right, we saw that. So the D, right? They have a D in their name. We just learned that. And here comes Arrow Attack. Arrow Attack stabs Cobra And there's been some discussion about like where it's coming from. It does not look like Eam is anywhere nearby, so it doesn't look like it was Eam. Seems like it came from somewhere else. We'll see if we can.
I think it
out.
was Eam.
You do,
think
huh?
Sure, it was Eam. I think he can like it kind of gives me like symbiote vibes where he can like just change his body shape.
Okay,
or, like,
well, I'll lay out the case here because you can see that the arrow is coming from Cobra's left side. So that doesn't prove anything one way or another. But like I think we saw. So, like, the arrow is coming from somewhere over here, and the dudes are kind of surrounding Cobra, and Eam is very far away. It's possible that it's Eam. That certainly is not impossible, but I think it also would be very plausible that it's one of these guys also.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Eam.
Maybe it's like Shikamaru, like you can't really see the shadows, but he's like
it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not surprised. Some people are confused about exactly like who's doing it. I mean, I kind of want to believe that it's Eam, but whatever. It could be anybody. Yes, you do need to consider Occam's midda, indeed. Okay, so here comes Goody Two Shoes Ace. Oh, I'm gonna save the day, everybody. Okay, here he comes with his Hiken Fire Fist attack. And does Smothered Mate, okay, which is a move in chess and shogi where the king is checked by a knight while surrounded by its own pieces. Fascinating.
Ryamu came out with that translation, and I think it's so good.
It's pretty good,
especially with smothered. Like you can get smothered by the smoke of a fire.
What's like the Japanese version of it? Is it?
Oh god, it's like uchu. I forget. It's like
what's sort of the meaning behind it?
Knight check. It's the same thing. It's a knight check.
Okay. Just that move in chess or whatever in Japanese.
Yeah. It's the equivalent name for thingy. Although it's not a mate in shogi. It's just a check as far as I know.
Sure. Okay, well that's cool. And so he does a Fire Fist, and then I guess Smothered Mate is this attack where he's like sending fire up the stairs, like at Eam or something, which is a pretty cool.
It's pretty cool because he is surrounded by his own pieces, and Sabo did just jump in. So
very true. Imagine Sabo. Okay, imagine Sabo is like, okay, I just ate the Mera fruit. Okay, I need to come up with situational names for all my attacks. Okay, when I jump into a circle surrounded by dudes, I need to think of the attack name I'll use when I'm surrounded by dudes. I've got it. I really like chess. Smothered Mate. That's what I'll do. Very epic. And people are rightly pointing out Sabo does still have his big pipe. Oh, let me tell you, that pipe is going the distance. That pipe is going to slay Eam-sama in chapter 2000 of One Piece. It's gonna be epic.
You know, there's literally an anime scene where it shows him getting the pipe back.
Getting it back when?
He's getting like his ass beat.
Wait,
by Kuma
it's a specific pipe?
No,
is this pipe like a named sword? It's like got a title in a Mato rating or whatever it is. I like to think that it is.
Yes. Basically, maybe it did travel all this way.
I was worried about the pipe being gone. It was really, it wasn't Sabo without the pipe.
Basically, if you like, you'd have to look up the anime, and I don't think you can stream it.
Well, is it like Dressrosa or whenabouts?
It's post Dressrosa. It's
he gets the pipe back.
Yeah, he's like it's when he's explaining his backstory to the Straw Hats.
Dingus is right. It's one of the 20 legendary pipes that he's using.
The anime has like a scene where he's like training with Kuma, and and Kuma's like whooping his ass. So he's kicked down to the floor, and he's like panting for breath, and he looks over to this junk pile, and there's a friggin' pipe there, and he picks it up, and
I remember that.
He's like he practices, and he's like, yeah, this feels right, and then he starts fighting with it again.
He's a pipe guy. He has not moved on to like staves or swords. Certainly not swords. That's far above his skill set. He's a pipe guy. Hey, you know who used a pipe in a kind of cool way one time? Virgo. Remember the Onitake? That's his whole thing. And he did that. He blew through it that one time with a hockey blast, and it shot like a bamboo dart out of it or something. At least that guy one time did a thing with his pipe. Sabo, okay, whatever. Sabo,
okay, I found the clip if you want to play it.
Sure. Okay, let's see.
I'm sending to you on Discord.
Somebody just linked it, I think, in the chat here. We've got.
It's at 2 minutes. Like 2 minutes.
Okay, here he comes. Yep, I've got it right here. And he's in the junk pile, and this boy's spitting. Whoa. That's one of the 20 legendary pipes right there. It was in this junk
it
pile.
made all the way from Goa Kingdom. They shipped out from there.
Goa Kingdom, famous for its pipesmiths, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Now say the line.
The lore.
I just want to hear him say the words. As someone said, yes, the Annie Jannies are cleaning it up to this day. He's going after Dragon! This kid's insane!
That's actually a really good animation right there.
It was all right.
When he spun around.
Yeah, I mean, that part looked all right. Okay, so Pipe Piece is real. We can confirm it.
Yes, yes.
And so Eam
apparently that stuff is based off of notes Oda gave the anime stuff for Sabo's.
I mean, I could believe it. I'm sure he came up with a bunch of ideas for like Sabo's fighting style and stuff. That's fine. Does it do much for me? No. Sabo is entirely built. I guess the Sabo pipe thing is original. The fact that Sabo uses a pipe, like, sure, all the kids did it when they were young, but like that was invented like for Sabo, clearly.
Do you think if Ace lived, he would be like, dude, you still carry around the pipe?
Well, in that one thing, well, everything would be different for Ace, because let me tell you, he would not have that crossed out S on his tattoo. No siree, because that S informs his love of Sabo, not his personality whatsoever. That's confirmed. And in that one cover page before Sabo came back, when we saw them, like, if Sabo was alive, weren't they all carrying pipes? Am I remembering that correctly? You know what I'm talking about? That one cover page?
Yeah,
maybe. Cover page, Ace, Luffy, Sabo. Got it right here. Okay, boom. Oh, no. Only Sabo. Only Sabo's carrying the pipe. He's just clinging to his childhood so damn hard. He will not let it go. He loves the pipe. He's a pipesman. All right. Well, there you go. Volca King, I'm glad you said that. When did Oda confirm that Ace write that S or whatever was like thing? The answer is right here when he made this panel happen in the story, because this was what if Sabo was alive, and you can clearly see the not crossed out S. This is when it was confirmed, which was one of the bigger hacked moments.
Yeah, just
for me. But okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, you don't think he planned Sabo?
Oh, he didn't plan Ace, for Christ's sake, from early on in the story.
Yeah, but I mean from Ace's introduction.
So we can't
know. Because
I
have a very cynical opinion on this. I think he introduced Ace, always intending to kill him off and introduce a replacement.
Really? That's an interesting opinion.
I feel like I have a very cynical. He always intended a diet Ace to appear. Which is why.
I've got an instant wrench to throw in your plan. So we know, because Oda has explicitly stated, so Ace was not Roger's son when he was first introduced into the story. Yeah. And I mean, part of like why Ace died, I think, feeds into that plot line of him being Roger's son. So if you take that away, the whole game plan of Ace, I think, would have changed a lot.
Nah, because I feel like it would have been like, instead of just Roger's son, it would have been executing Dragon's son, the hated revolutionary.
Oh, it would have been Ace who was Roger's son instead.
And
okay.
Yeah, and it would have been like, Whitebeard is his real father.
Wait, you're telling me we could have done something to like give like Dragon like more character and presence in the story?
Like
now we shut it down. Shut it down. We can't be doing that. Give it all to Sabo. Give Sabo more Dragon type attacks than the man named Dragon.
I think it would have been something like that, because we were already setting up he's after Blackbeard and Blackbeard's after Luffy and he wants to get Luffy's head to get thingy. So like that was long form. Like obviously he's gonna get.
I'm trying to think if I have any other concrete thing. I mean, because obviously like Sabo's introduction is so like ham-fisted and clunky. Like the amnesia plotline, really. I mean that he had to make an excuse because he had to cram it in
What I
somehow.
don't understand is why he didn't have Sabo on mission, like he was undercover, or even like
I would have preferred
in the middle of a mission and it was like 100 homeless people, like the fate of a country, or saving his brother.
That would have been way better. And
he hates himself forever for not being there. Something like that. I think he should have done that.
And frankly, that would give Sabo much more agency as a character, and I would respect that more. Because all these fucking retcons.
It would feed into his, like the kind of extreme revolutionary which they're trying to make him.
Well, yeah. At this point,
I can live with Cobra dying, and we're about to see right now on the next page, which good segue back into the chapter.
Yes, we will get into
he's
that.
like,
There he is.
I was hoping to take you all out, but I didn't realize you guys would actually be strong.
I guess I thought they were just a bunch of gimps with the limps, a bunch of old men who can't do nothing. But okay, well, let's just address here. So possible change with Eam going on here. The eye has kind of warped into like a longer thing. We'll see what happens with that. And actually, let me ask you this. So the panel directly to the left of Eam's eye kind of changing. It like, is that like a set of jaws? It looks like kind of clamping down from
eating.
It says Bakun. And Baku, I believe, is the munch devil fruit thing.
No,
I don't want to embarrass myself again.
I think I should have put like a crunch or a munch sound effect here now that you mention it.
I guess that would make sense.
It feels like he ate the flames.
And let me just say, I can confirm, people, I embarrassed myself deeply the other day, but I will not today. Baku is the sound effect of eating something, which is the devil fruit that Wapol ate. So he's like the eat guy, that's his thing. And so, and this does look like Jaws.
Called like Bakuman or like Pakuman, like for the same thing.
Oh, because they were gonna call Pac-Man was gonna be like, it was like this. Was it the sound effect or was it like an onomatopoeia or something?
I think it was a sound effect.
You're probably right. You're probably right. Anyway, so like it does. What I'm trying to suss out here is like Eam appears to be like shifting shape, which is interesting because okay, now we're learning that Eam has some shit going on.
That's why I think the arrow is. He shifted shape like very fast and stabbed him like with a finger.
Right. And I mean, if you let's just put all this information together right quick. So we've got like this big morphing like munching shape. And by the way, you can tell this is up. There's the swords here. This is like directly on the throne. So something is happening there. And then this panel right here. People have been a little confused, but just for anyone who's confused, I did get one of those like numbered images that just clearly show kind of the people that are there. Here, let me pull this tweet. And it was, people were noting, here's the shot of Eam's, I guess Eam's eye is up there. Okay, I didn't even notice that. Okay, so there's the shot. Eam like eats something or whatever happens there. And then we've got these 5 dudes standing around. And then you've got this shot here, that happens a little bit later, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Gorosei, and above is Big Eam's face. And I think this is just the other one we're looking at. Yeah, there's Big Eam turning into a giant monster coming down. And I mean, people have debated if this like 2 here is another person. It does look like these are the 5 dudes, but you put it all together, Eam appears to be turning into a big monster man. That's apparently what's going on. So there you go. We'll get more to that. Now, of interest though, we're seeing that the Gorosei are all apparently devil fruit users, as far as we can tell. Something weird's going on there.
God Hand from Berserk, creepy transformations.
And I'll notice this: you see a lot of what appears to be these kind of like curved lines behind their backs. Sure, kind of looks like Awakened Zoan type things behind them.
They have the smoke scarf.
Yeah,
at least one of them.
Which I count like basically 2 on like this bird-looking dude and this humanoid kind of
guy
thing.
On the left looks like the cow thing from Impel Down.
He does look like Minotaurus. Well, Minotaurus has had some promotions since we last saw him, and he has in fact been promoted to Gorosei. So
how funny would it be if like Jay Garcia Sachin was like inspecting Impel Down, and he was like, "Yeah."
He just happened to be there and get his ass kicked by the dudes at that time.
He's like, "Yo, I could use that fruit. Have him killed."
I see. He took the fruit because he really likes it. Oh, and okay, I'll pull up this image in a moment. But what was the one I wanted to show? And people have made this connection. Maybe there's something to this. Maybe it's not. I think it's a cute theory of this like comparison of the where the wild things are type big monster guys. Eam does kind of look suspiciously like the like King Kid sitting on the back, and plays into this thought that some guys have had of like Eam could be just like a child or like have the mind of a child, and I don't believe that myself, but like if it happened, I wouldn't be like utterly shocked.
Maybe the mentality of a child,
the
verbiage of a child.
So I mean, we'll see, and this I know Oda referencing truly good literature here at last, an intellectual reference for high IQ people.
Do you know how many people I've seen react to this chapter and think Sabo turned around from the Gorosei and did a pose? Like the monsters
he turned away to like not pay attention to them on purpose.
Yeah, so like this panel is all taken together. These 2 panels are combined. So like he's just standing and they're in the background looming, and he doesn't he's not looking at them.
Like he hasn't noticed that they're there or something?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah. Like someone's like, "Why is he turning around to pose? He's on the phone or something."
Well, I guess, I mean, he jumped up, he did a big fire
Yeah.
attack, and he did kind of land facing the other direction. I mean, it's
No,
a manga
it's
panel,
a
you know?
reverse shot. Yeah, it's a shot reverse shot.
Yeah, it's presented to make
Yeah.
Sabo look cool. I suppose it is
It's
generally
well conceived.
ideal to face your opponents. That's true, but I don't know. I mean, he's also getting ready to flee immediately, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Not something that bothers me.
Okay, I saw a comment asking, "What do you think of the Gorosei supposedly being strong?"
Yeah.
I guess I'll go first.
Oh
and
yeah,
I'll
please,
say,
please.
I think the Gorosei being strong, it's not something which I really wanted. I wanted, like, I thought it was cool to have, like, not all evil comes from, like, might, but
Indeed.
comes from, like,
Indeed.
policy and stuff like that.
This is still a battle shonen, though, despite what they tell you.
And I do think that with the Gorosei being strong, you've bolstered the world government significantly as the main final threat.
It does kind of look that way,
from
yeah.
What they were before Wano.
I mean,
before
didn't
Wano,
we just
had,
introduce
like,
the Holy Knights for this purpose too? But
yeah,
damn, we're
yeah.
yeah.
Before Wano, we just had, like, the Marines, which
The
we knew were
admirals
gonna
are-
defect,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like, we knew, like, half the Marines were going to defect, and
Yeah,
just,
that's
you
true.
know, the dinky remainder of the Marines. So now we've got, like, the hardcore Marines. We've got Sakazuki, Ryukyugyu, maybe Kizaru. They'll stay true,
Mhm.
and a bunch of really hardcore vice admirals, stuff like that.
I
And
cannot believe
they're foot soldiers.
Return to Reverie completely predicted the Mercury Devil Fruit,
Right.
the Hockey Man, the
I
Ancient
worked
Guy.
on this, you know. So I worked on both of these reveals.
You did you wait? You worked on Return to Reverie?
I helped proofread the dialogue.
Oh,
and,
okay.
like,
Well, that's
if you scrolled all the way down, you would see my name.
a
Tons
crowning
of
achievement of your career, no doubt.
it was fun to work with Arthur.
Yeah,
there
they're good
lots
fun.
of ideas. I didn't agree with, like, where the story, like where
I'm not
his
surprised to hear
predictions were going,
that.
but I was fascinated, and it was a lot of fun. So, like,
That was
I'm
Artur
happy.
was the one leading that project, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
he was the writer. I did help bounce an idea or two off of him, which
Mhm.
was friggin' there was, like, a plot hole that was opened up due to a mistranslation where, like,
yeah.
they referred to Kobe as a Commodore
Oh,
in
right,
Jump.
right, yeah, that
Right.
one.
captain. So he did a whole scene where it was like, "Captain, congratulations, Commodore Kobe, you've got a promotion." So, like, he was like, "Yeah, I don't know what to do about this because, like, we've got the panels drawn and the dialogue set for it." And I was like, "Why don't we just make it like you keep on track and you're gonna make Commodore soon?"
Sure,
Like, a
sure.
compliment. So that's what it ended up
Nice
being.
save, nice
And
save.
there was another thing where, like, initially in his lore about Adam and Eve and whatever, he had it as 3 generations, and he just trimmed it down to 2.
Mm-hmm.
It was just really, like, he really led the story and the thingy, and
No one could
I-
accuse him of not
was
loving
proud.
One Piece. That's
yeah,
for sure.
he was very passionate, and it was really fun, a good experience. But yeah, I got to work on this. Fake
this one
reveal
now,
of their powers and the real reveal of his powers, which was fun.
So-
The real Return to Reverie.
Do you have any guesses for what these? Okay, we've clearly got a bird. We've got a bird confirmed. There's no doubt that's a bird. This looks something like a cow or like a bull. We've already got a bull devil fruit out there with Dalton. This kind of looks like a pig to me. I don't know. This is just some vaguely human thing.
I really hope they're
don't
not
know.
all Zoan. I
Yeah, me
really
too.
hope there's only 2 of them.
Well, you
as
see,
just-
Oda realized he fucked up the Zoan arc with Wano real
I've
bad,
had
so he's here to
enough
fix it.
I've had more than enough zones.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was making the point, like, back at the end of Wano, we just had, like, half the Marines, which we knew were going to defect, and
Yeah.
then the other half. And then from there, we had, like, since Wano, we've had the Seraphim introduced. We've had all these high-tech stuff, which were probably going to, like, be taken from Lily and given to the government. We've got friggin' the Holy Knights. We've got
Yep.
the Gorosei can fight now. We've got so much stuff stacking up for the world government that it's now starting to feel like more of a fair fight.
That's true, because I mean,
So
with
that's
Nika, it was a real question. Is anyone on the planet able to rival Luffy? He beat Kaido. It's kind of hard to
even
imagine.
Without that, it just feels like all of our allies, all these kingdoms that are going to be on our side, and they've got.
I know,
what?
right? This is why we need those precious
Yeah.
Blackbeard buffs immediately. He needs to go endgame mode as soon as possible with whatever plan in store that Oda's got cooking for him. Hurry up
I
and
don't
do it.
know if Blackbeard will like still be an enemy or still even be like in contention by the end of the series. I think
I mean,
the Luffy Blackbeard conflict will be settled at Lodestar before they even go to Loftail.
that is a theory, and I don't think it's impossible or anything. But I mean, we'll just see. We'll just. See
I
how
just
it
think
goes.
that like one of them has to be the one who gets One Piece, and then you fight the world government. Not all happening. At
I mean, I feel that it could be done well in a number of ways, including him being the final boss. And I mean, I love Blackbeard. The thing about Blackbeard though is that he has yet to fully beat the fraud allegations of running from fights and being like he had the one fight with Ace, which was impressive.
He just shows up. It's like, hey, Ace, you're amazing. Oh God, you got me.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everywhere he goes.
So, I mean, he's a tough guy. He
just
tanks
gets
many
his ass
attacks.
kicked.
He beat Ace fair and square, 1-on-1.
Yeah.
He jobbed to Magellan. That's true, but haven't
Hey,
we all?
Magellan. Oh God, you got me.
Yeah.
Again.
But that's
Everyone
why.
we meet.
I mean, Blackbeard always was like the idea that like he might just like amass a bunch of devil fruit powers, and obviously like the Yami Yami no Mi could be part of that, or his like special body, whatever that means. Any of these things could be done, but whatever. We'll see when we get there. Okay.
So regarding these powers, I'm actually not certain if these are like. I think we're making a huge assumption to say that these are devil fruits.
I mean, mythical Zoan comes to my mind, as people have been saying, as it's just that is the highest power level that we've seen for devil fruits, and it wouldn't be shocking if like a lot of Gorosei had those.
Okay, but like, would it surprise you if Emu his powers predate devil fruits?
Oh,
Like,
well, with
he could
Emu
just have-
specifically, sure.
Yeah,
that's
like
a
he
separate
could just
matter.
have like magic, or he could just be like a demon.
Whatever the
or
fuck is going
something,
on with
because
Emu up here, yeah.
I feel like Oda has played with the idea of magic outside of the devil fruits, especially in spoilers, Film Red and like in like the pilot.
Wait, just
stuff.
spoil me. What? I there was a magician in the pilot episode. What's magical about Film Red? I'm just curious.
Oh, there's a demon, Tots Musica.
There's a demon, really?
Yeah. There's a legit demon which gets summoned.
Does it
near the
have
end of the movie,
magical
which is-
powers of some kind?
Yeah, it's just
What?
it's completely magical, and it's like unlocked via it's freed by the power of the Sing Sing fruit. But yeah, it's just a flat out.
That
demon.
feels like a real
Let's
left
see that.
turn for like One Piece as a series to just introduce
Yeah.
an actual demon. Very
I
strange.
had a head canon that Uta's fruit like sang it into existence by like
okay.
because like the way her fruit works is like she can control a dream world.
Yeah, maybe she
And
brought it
everything
out of
with
the
the
dream
dreams-
world or something.
Yeah. So like my idea was
okay,
like
sure.
okay, so maybe she like sang into existence a dream about like a demigod demon who can rip through dimensions, and just dreaming about it, a dream god who can rip through dimensions actually makes it real when he rips through a dimension.
I
and
find
comes
that
into
cope
real.
more acceptable than like
That's
One Piece
my
has
copium.
literal demons and they're around and you gotta watch out
But,
for those
like,
things. Yeah.
That's my copium, but in the movie it's literally like maybe that happened to the person who had the Sing Sing fruit before Uta.
Right,
Because
sure.
in the movie, like the friggin' music levitates to her and she sings it and releases hell.
Mhm.
So like it is very much like a song that summons the devil.
And
in the movie.
Gabriel saying, sounds like Nate should watch Film Red. Oh, I'll watch Film Red
Yeah.
on my wedding night when I wed Uta and we become one flesh for all time. That will be when we consummate our union. That's what it's gonna be.
We should do a Film Red commentary.
I aggressively don't care about the One Piece movies, and I'm a zealot. I'm a zealot for not caring about the movies. I'm a jihadist for not caring about the One Piece movies. The only good one is that one that isn't even good because it's a One Piece movie, Baron Omatsuki or whatever the fuck. And then Film Z had Z, and he was cool. That's it. That's all I like of the movies. Maybe that like first one was good. I haven't even seen that one yet. They're just not canon, so who cares? That's how I feel.
But yeah, you've also got like Miss Golden Week's paint powers, maybe the Klabatermon, maybe the stuff in the pilot,
right?
where there
Miss
was
Golden
the
Week.
whip
You can always be
tradition.
like, oh, that's just hypnosis. That's like a physical
Yeah.
phenomenon. You can. There's
But
a
like,
little.
I
cope
wouldn't
there,
be
but-
surprised if like devil fruits like come from a more ancient kind of magic or power or
Well,
something.
devil
And
fruits are
Emu has
clearly,
that.
literally magic. There's no ambiguity. You can't get around it. Like, they could be like, oh, it's the will of the earth. Okay, that's what we call magic. Things that don't make sense, that happen because someone wills them to. And that's fine. If you keep your magic to, like, just one thing, because you're trying to have limits to your power levels or, whatever it is, I'm totally fine with that. And that's what One Piece has done since the beginning. So that's been a fine way to handle it.
Like, my point is like,
Mhm.
what if like Emu like lent this like shape-shifting shadow power to his minions? Like,
Yeah.
what if like they were blown apart by that flame explosion, but then they reformed into these giant beasts?
Oh,
like,
I see your
What
point.
if it's not a devil fruit? What if it's just
Okay.
like power which Emu lent them?
So
Like
it
lent
does
his
notice.
royal minion.
Oh,
Like they're
okay.
aspects of him.
One or two things could have happened. One, it's totally plausible that Sabo attacked all these guys with fire, and they were actually very strong, so they didn't die. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
that would make sense. Or two, they like would have died, or they were hurt real bad, or something. But Eames' power is such that he restored them, made them shadow guys, or whatever. I gotta say, I find that
or like
the
he's
former,
already given them the power like years ago. and
so
he can just
entirely
become it.
possible. I would lean Occam's razor on the former
Yeah,
being more
devil
likely,
fruit.
but
Yeah.
you never know. Eames
Yeah,
is a loose cannon now.
It absolutely could just be devil fruits, but I'm open to the idea that maybe this is like some eldritch, like ancient shadow magic or
Mhm.
something.
Nikki,
Um,
Z is canon, just like Shiki, as in not plot relevant, but yeah, Z is real.
Is he?
Well, yeah,
He's never
well,
mentioned.
Z's actions did not happen in real One Piece because that would be insane. Of
Yeah,
course, they didn't
but
happen.
we
but-
never actually see a panel with Zed in it.
well, but
but
I
you
don't
can
think that you
assume he
need to.
exists.
Well, because Uta does not exist. Uta is not real in
There
One
is
Piece.
a panel of Uta.
I don't care.
in
Uta,
One-
it doesn't make it. It literally makes no sense that Uta would be
Wait.
real.
Nate, didn't you see the re-release of the manga that coincided with film?
Oh yes,
right?
it was so good. Wait, what
Bits.
manga?
You don't remember this?
No. Oh wait, he linked me something. Let me click on it. Oh, I forgot about this panel. Luffy, don't cry. Just like the time with Uta. Shanks-sama, no! I forgot they did re-release Volume 1, Chapter 1,
Yes.
and
They also included this bit.
yeah, let's
which
see.
is-
Oh yes, this is my favorite part personally. It's in that same re-release. Luffy, that was the Nika Nitha mythical Doan fruit. I stole it from Who's Who to fulfill a prophecy about Joy Boy. If you eat it, your entire body becomes like rubber. Because as we all know, Nika was actually a rubber god, even though he's just the god of the sun. But it's still the same thing, and you won't be able to swim for the rest of your life. You Bakana!
I literally
Chapter
made
1.
this edit just for this moment.
Did you do this edit?
Yeah, I made both of those.
I've seen this around. These are good. These are classic. I'm so glad we could share this chapter 1 moment together here on Talking Pirates, everyone. It's been a very special time for me. They fixed the old translation at last.
Literal chapter 1. Yes. This is what you always intended. This is like George Lucas with the special
It
edition.
sure is. It sure is. By the way, those
Okay,
people
man.
that were right all along, changing who shot first was fucked up from the start. All right, you can't do that. Changes.
Oh
they feel
yeah,
about the
they also
characters.
changed it so that instead of Ripper Rue shooting first, it was the Mountain Bandit, and then Rue
Oh
just
yeah,
shot
instead
back.
of Lucky Roo.
Yeah,
The
instead of
Mountain
Lucky
Bandit
Rue.
shot first, guys, okay? Shanks's
Yeah.
boys are good boys. They would never strike first. They're
You
good
get the
Christian
digital
individuals.
strip.
I think actually you can see off in the distance Uta, actually
Thank you.
from the grassy knoll, Uta sniped. It was her. She shot first
Yeah.
all along, as Oda intended.
You know how Fran's head like shifts to the right? You've got that with Shanks where it like shifts away.
And the
when
bullet
man
comes
takes
from
the shooting.
the grassy knoll. That's it. Or from the book suppository or depository. Not a suppository. Oh, how embarrassing. Okay, all right. Let's move along. So the Gorosei are there. They've got some kind of power thing going on, and they survive big fire attack. And here, thank God, Oda showed us the literal moment where picture
Yeah.
of Sabo was taken. Okay,
Why
this is
is
it.
there a camera in the throne room?
That is such a
Inu
good
streamer?
question. Whose camera is that, and what are they taking pictures of? To now, I'll say this. People do actually come to this room, to the throne room,
Yeah,
because this
yeah.
it's sort of a public room where, like, it's private enough, but kings do come in here. Im is not supposed to sit here like most of the time. Like they brought who's it that was brought here before? Whatever. When we first saw the empty throne, we were brought to the room and like it was empty at that time. We just like saw Eam at like another time or whatever. So like there could in fact be like security cameras that kind of watch it like the rest of the place. Now, it does immediately make you think this is a bad idea for Eam to come out and like sit on the throne. But then again, the Gorosei were like surprised that Eam came out right now. This didn't seem like part of the plan. This is, I think, why Eam seems sort of childish. Eam is being very dumb right now to just, like, come out in the middle of Reverie and sit on the fucking throne while Reverie is, like, literally in session. But Eam just doesn't seem to give a fuck. And it's probably that sort of thing, like, when you're a very entitled person, you're a very, you know, privileged whatever person, you're just like, I don't know, it'll work out. My servants will fix it for me. Which is typically the case. But he didn't count on Big Dick Sabo, baby, coming in and saving Cobra, or you know, all
maximum copium. Also, the snail is facing Sabo, so it could be. You know,
it films away from the throne, not toward the throne.
Away from the throne, maybe.
Well, I think because we could see from like the picture, we could triangulate the lines on from the picture that we saw previously, and we could determine from the positioning of the body.
We're taking long enough.
Maybe another day we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, let's read more of the text here. Here we go.
Cough.
Oh, and Ronis is right.
Luffy's brother?
It's a good thing cameraman didn't get a picture of the demon shadow men. That would sure be something that the public might have an interest in. But
Sabo and his demonic allies of the Revolutionary Army kill Cobra.
Right. Although, to be fair, like this picture was clearly leaked from the world government to, you know, make Sabo look bad and stuff. Like they're the ones that chose what was released. So it's not insane. Anyway, as you said, yes.
Those Photoshop Jannies.
Exactly. They use the magic eraser to remove all the demon Gorosei from the picture. So you just had your fun Sabo murdering king image. How fun. Okay, so as you were saying, Cobra, you're with the Revolutionary Army, and you still stepped in to save me? And here Sabo says an interesting line. Our cause is more concerned with the monsters that sit above than kings and queens of the world. Do you know Luffy somehow? Yeah, he saved me once. That sounds like him. Okay, now I just want to say on this, I also checked this translation with you, just because there's some discourse about like how committed to La Revolucion are Sabo and his boys. And I just want to let everybody know, I double checked it myself, the Japanese translation, and he literally says, let me see, just for fun, just because this is one of my little exercises I did to translate this. Where did I put that image? Oh, here we go. Again, Fizo helped me out with this kindly. Sabo he literally says, that, so if anybody gives you some bullshit and is like, Sabo is, you know, he's just like me for real. We're both communists and we want to kill everyone. Okay, what he actually says here is, our enemy is above the kings, is basically what this boils down to. Aitsurada, like those guys. He's saying like, us, our enemy, is like sono ue, above like the otachi, or like above the monarchy, above kings. So he is saying specifically, our enemy is the people above the kings. He makes no specific point of saying that my lesser enemy is, you know, like the whatever. Even though I agree, it actually would make sense for Sabo to not like kings and queens very much, but that is not the point that he's making here. He's only making the point of, you know, whatever, that he that he wants to kill Le Gorosei. So we're right in alignment with the Tenryubito. Just the position has not changed. That's Sabo's position. Right. So Sabo runs away from our friendly demon individuals. Oh, and with this panel, I did need to bring up this image right. Possibly the best image of the chapter. There's one that rivals it, but take a look. The Soy Squad is quickly on Sabo's tail here. Trying to take him out. It's just an average weekend for me on the r/One Piece subreddit, and this is what it looks like when all my boys are hanging out. Okay, back to it.
Who are these people?
These are the soy boys. These are the Gorosei. They're just pogging and soy facing because Gota released Morkino this week, and it feels good. That's how I interpret it.
I'm too out of the loop on these memes.
Okay. All right, so Cobra says, leave me, I'm dead weight. You have a better chance of escaping on your own. Not going to happen. There's something I've come to understand. If you die here, we'll be in trouble. I need you to deliver a message to Luffy-kun and Vivi-chan. Yeah, you want me to tell them something? Okay, tell them we share the moniker D. Okay, so he's confirming Vivi, Luffy, Vivi, or myself, Vivi, and Luffy. We all share the moniker D. That's, okay, so as we said before, there it is. And I finally know the path that Alabasta must follow. And with that line, I am curious. Oh, yes, he quotes as, Sabo, please give my daughter the D. That's all he wants to happen, and hopefully it will. I think Wapol's going to get there first, but we'll see. So this idea of the path that Alabasta must follow. I mean, obviously it's going to be about ancient lore, overthrowing the Tenryubito, doing the D stuff, all that stuff. Anything to add to that?
No, that's pretty much literally like I know the way which Arabasta must go. Like, literally. So,
Alabasta. Arabasta. Look at this guy. He thinks it's Arab when it's Albus Dumbledore. Albus Dumbledore.
Come on.
I won't give in. I will continue to seethe and cope in my position. Until God himself, not Goda, but God comes down and strikes me down for doing otherwise. Okay.
Cringe 4Kids term.
I love 4Kids. They got me into the series. So I stand that. That's why I say Zolo. I say Nico Robin has a southern accent and always will. And I love her for it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you both have a D in your name. Okay, flashback time, baby. Chapter 1, Chapter 0. Sabo, Luffy, and Ace talking about stuff.
This is actually an excerpt from chapter 509. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, right. So you have a D in your name. Sabo observes of both Luffy and Ace. Is that a coincidence? And they're like, I guess so. So we're actually like discussing this thing that you'd think would maybe have come up at some point in the past. I guess it did. Wow, what do you know? So Oda. All right, everyone, stop the presses. Stop the presses. I have been reliably informed that characters never discuss their personal lives ever under any circumstances until it is directly plot relevant at that moment. Why? Why are they asking questions? Are you implying to me, Oda, that characters actually do have a basic level of neuron function in their brain and they might ask questions about like the character that they're speaking to or grew up with or are like in a crew with? Or have any level of curiosity about like their history or backstory or personal life or anything like that? Is that possible? I just want to know. I just want to clarify. That's a Hacta moment. That's all I'm saying. That's just a Hacta moment. That's all there is to it. And right, of course, they make the point. Who cares? A name's a name. Do you want a D in your name, Sabo? Ha ha ha. So you can be Sad Bo. Oh, that's classic comedy right there. Da ha ha ha.
I think that's Ace, right? The da ha ha.
I've never seen Luffy laugh that way. It's got to be Ace. It's got to be Ace. So who? I wonder who. I guess Luffy probably gave him the Sad Bo.
Yeah.
I mean, not like it matters at all. They're just having a conversation together.
It's
but
very childish to like not realize that it's a middle initial, not something you can just jam in the middle of a word that already exists.
Indeed.
So I think it is 7-year-old Luffy.
Probably right. I will criticize this. This was a stone-faced joke. I thought I understand he's doing a child thing. I appreciate that. I felt not an inkling of laughter. I felt not a tingle of joy. I merely thought, makes sense. I gave this panel a firm, business-like handshake and moved on to the next panel. Okay, just saying. Kind of a mid to moment. Okay, that's my point. Joy Boy and Sad Bo. So true.
He's trying to sway the votes. Don't believe him.
Unfortunately, the votes are locked in, and I won't even check what they're at right now. We'll see when we get there. Okay, so here's another moment of controversy. Okay. Ooh, okay, let's get into the big debate. I was arguing with, who was it, Jam in the chat earlier today about what's going on here. So someone stabbed him. I mean, maybe it's Ian, maybe it's one of these other guys. Like it's this arrow stabby tail thing. Well, I'm sure we'll find out later, like who it was exactly or whatever. But so it looks like. So Sabo is clearly hurt here. By the way, this is my favorite Sabo panel, I think, of all time. Right there. In extreme pain, dying, bleeding. Sad D Boy has returned. There he is. Sad Bo. There it is.
I'm surprised you like this panel more than when he was killed off as a child.
Well, we don't get to see him suffer and die. at that point. Also,
Okay,
that
let's
was before.
go, guys. Top 10 Sabo death
Top
moments.
10 Sabo suffering panels. Can we get a countdown, please?
Okay, number 1, his almost death in Lelouchia. Number 2,
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good
when
one.
he got his memories back and realized he was an absolute
Oh yeah,
failure.
when he was seething and coping about abandoning his brothers. That was also a really good one.
Number
Yeah.
3, this.
Number 3,
4,
this. Number 4, getting blown up by the 10 Ryubito as a child. Yeah.
number 5, getting face hugged by Luffy.
Indeed, suffocating and dying. I don't know. I just think this is like drawn well, and I'll say it again. When a character suffers visibly, it makes me like them more because they're going through struggles, and when they overcome them, that's good. So it's a good
Goda moment.
It is a good moment. It is a good moment. So that's good. But the debate, however, okay, we were having a debate about this stab, and it's kind of like. It's not that it's confusing or anything. It's just like, so Sabo looks really hurt by this, but like, what exactly happened to him? Did it graze his, like he's coughing up blood. Did he get fully impaled like Cobra did, like through the shoulder or whatever? I mean, Cobra got impaled twice now.
Through Sabo into Cobra.
It does look like it went kind of through Sabo's side and then out like his back or his other side or something. And then, Jesus Christ, that's pretty fucking brutal. But okay, and then
but he's got that friggin'
he's got that dog in him.
Flame, yeah. No, he's got the flame through. He can just
Well, okay,
burn
but
the-
you say that, but it sure doesn't look like he
Cauterize
was
the
using
wound.
that. Well,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, but maybe he can cauterize the wound afterwards.
Well, that's probably true. Here's what we were doing. It is a JoJo wound, just like Luffy's stab from Katakuri was a JoJo wound that mysteriously got smaller shortly after he got it. But what I wanted to ask about this was, so we were having an intense autistic debate earlier in the chat about whether or not this attack confirmed that this attack was done with Haki because Sabo didn't turn fire to avoid it. And I was of the mind, what do you think about this, Fizo? I was of the mind, this does not confirm necessarily that this attack, I'm saying it doesn't confirm it. Of course, there could be Haki, that's obviously possible. But it doesn't confirm it because Sabo is carrying a man with his body right now. And as he's doing that, he kind of wouldn't want to have his reactions on to turn himself into fire, because that would then burn, not only would it burn the man that he's carrying, he would fall off of him because he's fire now, not a body that's carrying him, The counterpoint, of course, being that Sabo can selectively turn parts of his body fire. He could have done that to this because we, guys like Crocodile back in the day and various other characters. When Ace.
So then it just hits Cobra. What a dick.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing. So, it hit Cobra anyway, so it's not like it would have really saved him either way.
I was going for Sabo first.
They don't have to
turns into fire and it just goes straight for Cobra.
Well, first of all, Clyde, you disappoint me, my friend, because it has been absolutely confirmed for almost every character that they do have to voluntarily they have to flip the switch in their mind because
they're not always flames. So so here's the thing: it could have taken Sabo by surprise.
I'm sorry, Clyde, it's over for you.
He didn't have time to flame on, but there's no reason. First of all, these are some of the strongest. These probably some of the final fights of the series. Of course, they're gonna use Haki.
I'm aware this debate is totally pointless and not worth having, but I do find it fun anyway.
It's a very pointless debate, but. No, it doesn't confirm Haki usage, even though
I win. You hear that, everybody? I win.
The reason why it doesn't confirm it is, one, we don't know, this arrow thing, they could be an elemental thing for fire, because we know that there are elemental weaknesses for Logias, and let's say that he has the void fruit.
Sure.
Anything he touches, it just it's eliminated into nothingness. It becomes like a vacuum.
Yeah.
So that smothers the flames or something like that.
Certainly
there's
possible.
A million explanations. It just caught him by surprise. Maybe it is Haki. Maybe it was
could have been any number of things.
A number of things. So it's a silly conversation.
But I love silly conversations. And I'll frame it like this. Would you, ladies and gentlemen, be comfortable with updating the wiki with saying Arrow Man attack individual has Haki confirmed checkmark? You look in your hearts. You know the answer to that is no. You know that the answer that you cannot confirm it. Therefore, I'm right. Therefore,
we're living in a society.
Okay.
But also, almost every move can
Of course it
infuse
could.
Haki and
It could.
Cannot.
Oh,
Like,
Ranos
you know
already
what I mean?
updated
Like,
the wiki. I lose. It's the
Like-
moo fruit. Well, that's got to be it.
Yeah, like a normal punch versus a normal punch with Haki, it doesn't it's still like.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
It's not a trait of the arrow.
I've won the debate. I'm glad we can put that to rest. We can now move on now that I have won and everyone has agreed upon that and accepted it. Okay, that's great. I'm glad we could all heal through this exercise. Okay, Sabo's hurt base. Go to panel right there. Like seeing him suffer and die. Cobra's, seething and coping over there. And this face right here appears to be, because again, we saw the big mouth open with Eam before. This face and this is probably Eam, like looming over as like a big shadow monster. We don't know it for sure, but it does look that way based on the things that we've seen Eam do this chapter so far. And so here comes Cobra, big dick Cobra.
I thought it was the bull Gorsa. I thought it was.
You think so? I mean, that definitely could be true.
He seems closer to Cobra lower down.
But the other thing is, look at the way that like in the next panel of Cobra, something is like swooping down towards him there, and it like I don't know, like I assumed it was like a shadow monster, but I mean we just don't really know. I'm aware that we can't confirm this, and it's all up in the air. Once we learn what these powers are, I will come back to this chapter and analyze this for Hacta. I will absolutely do that, and I can't wait to. And the framing of the action is very unclear. True, but also Oda's clearly going for like a hiding what's really going on here on purpose, which doesn't make it blocked well. It doesn't automatically give you that, but he's got like another thing he's doing of like being mysterious on purpose. So I don't know, whatever. It's fine.
He's not smiling. What is the deal?
And by the way, he's not smiling. How could this possibly be true, guys?
I would die laughing if this comes out in the friggin' Tankobun and it's
That like he edits it to be smiling later on.
Yeah.
Wait, that actually makes me wonder. Did Oda ever comment on the whole smiling when he dies thing? Did that come up in the story? I can't remember if it did or didn't.
In the manga itself.
In the manga itself, yeah.
It's never come up. No.
Okay, I didn't think so. All right, so can't confirm.
The only it has come up, but only in
like implication
when Smoke was like, that kid, he smiled just like Roger before he died.
Okay, so one instance of comparison,
Yeah.
but may not necessarily.
That's
compare.
it. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Also, I'll say this is a little bit of an odd choice. The way that he put like a roaring bubble over a text bubble. That might be a first in the series, for all I know.
They're trying to drown out thingy. Do you know I got DMs asking like,
yeah,
was this a mistake from TCB? Did you guys mean to put the raw there?
Sure. I mean, it is exceptional. It is an unusual thing to see in a manga or this series at least. So I mean, yeah, I guess that is an interesting question. With Rano says, like, how did you translate this? Like, I guess you could just infer a couple of words from like what was visible.
The left-hand side is visible.
Yeah.
The right-hand side, you can make out a couple of words. From what I've like gathered and been told, and what I've looked into, the stuff which is absolutely visible is World's Dawn and Fly the Flag. Fly the Flag of Dawn is visible, and Poneglyph is visible. The rest of it's censored, so that's pretty much it.
Okay, well there you go.
Protected could be gleamed, so that's kind of. So
Gotcha.
What we went with was the Poneglyphs must be protected. Fly the flag that heralds the world's eventual dawn. But there could be more to the message that's being obscured.
Sure,
that's plausible deniability.
Fair enough. Sounds like you covered the main stuff, though. And I mean, none of that particular stuff seems like plot critical. And you want to include all of it, you can. But like, I'm just saying, don't sweat it too much, people. You're not missing anything by missing like a word or something from there. Okay. Although you think Oda is going for a thing here where he is like actually obscuring important lore. Is there like like that kind of angle to this? You think?
Maybe.
I wonder.
Or maybe
I might go read that.
Could be
part
that,
in
or
Japanese.
it could be like.
Do you have a link to that, by the
or
way?
if they don't want them to say, yeah, I do.
If you do, I'm very curious now, and since it's come up,
the way Dawn is written is the way it usually is. Okay, wait, let me look up.
Sure. Take your time.
Just take me a second.
In the meantime, everyone listen to these dulcet tones.
You know, we're living in a society.
The American people are tired of women.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
What else we got? I'm sorry, I was drowning you out. With actually, it's a good time too because somebody just subbed, and that was, let me see, Weii, Weii 4949 Subarino.
Thank you, Baxter.
Now that's some easy money right there. That's a TYB for me. Is there anything else I can comment on about this?
Okay, I found it. Just taking a photo now.
Okay, great, cool. The wheel of D's nuts must be protected. Well, if D was a joke, I mean, I would love that. I would absolutely love that.
Okay, it's in your DMs.
Arigato. Okay, here we go. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is what it looks like, ladies and gents. Here we go. All right, so... yes. Mamo... Yes, you can... That is the word protect. Mamo something sai. Okay, so my grammar's not that good, but something about protection. I can make that much. That's the kanji for protecting. And then something sekai, the world. Yo, that's the dawn. Night, yeah, that's dawn. No, hata o kakage. I don't know that word in particular. Okay, so boom, you got protect right there. You got most likely mamori nasai, which is I think like a command to protect. I think, and then something about the world, dawn, and whatever else this is. So okay, there you go.
Hoist the flag.
The flag, right, the flag. Okay, so as you can see, people, you're not like missing any crucial lore unless Oda is deliberately obscuring it in some sort of meta thing.
Yeah.
So
if it's on the right.
So that would be intentional. It's a polite command, says Lips. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So.
But this is all a quote from Lily, anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and as you can see, these are all in quotation marks. Yes. So this is Cobra reading out text from the fucking thing. From the thing. And that's what these little blocks here are from. There's the Japanese quotation marks. So there you go. Neferti D. Lily. I'm counting on you, Sabo-kun. And then Don King Cobra, no! You must live on. Who's there? So, okay, I've got... So just about the end of the scene with Sabo. So Sabo is, like, gone. I guess he just ran away really fast, despite he got...
I really wish that we see him, make
a flame?
Pained... Like, we see his reaction, then we see, a pained expression, and then we see him, throw up, a flame wall.
Yeah, he's just gone. And I mean...
Or, we see, him, diving through, a stained glass window or something to end the scene, or something like that.
He just escapes with apparently zero difficulty after taking, a grievous wound, and...
We've got 2 time skip bubbles.
Yes, we
do.
We
know some time has passed. It's weird.
It is rather unsatisfying, but I do understand. I mean, honest to God, he's up against, some extremely powerful guys. How did he get away? I guess Cobra, big dick power man Cobra, really, he body blocked and did some impressive, chair throws and whatnot to keep the guy out of here. All right.
I think I want to watch the zombie film where they're eating a guy and
the other guy runs away.
Yeah, and he's choke on them.
I guess it's something like that.
So he's stalling them.
Oh yes, they're devouring his body. He's being eaten alive by the Gorosei as Sabo slowly pulls his corpse. He drags himself off extremely slowly while Cobra dies.
He rolls under a dumpster,
and then he just hides there for 3 days until they take out the trash. That's how it got away.
That's exactly what it is.
Maybe it'll be addressed. Okay, but get ready for some.
I do want to ask
more
about the Gorosei before we move on from this scene.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Do you think Imu is, and to an extent the Gorosei, do you think they're being silhouetted like Odin, or do you think they literally appear as shadows to the characters in the world? Do you think it's just for our benefit, or do you think Sabo and Cobra are seeing the reality?
I can answer that for sure. I mean, it's not 100%. I very much believe this is silhouette piece, and that we will get proper reveals of them later on in the future. I think it's an Odin thing.
I'm wondering if it's they have shadow powers literally, so they literally look like shadows.
It is possible.
At least Emu.
I mean,
I don't know.
Just for a moment, think. Everybody, what could Emu even be? Being a big, lumbering, moving, shadow monster. And, I mean, the arrows...
It wouldn't be very expressive for a final fight.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still think, the most likely thing is that this is silhouette piece, and we have some, mythical Zoans here, or whatever. We got some, awakened Zoans, because they do kind of look like that. They've got, the the smoke
At
trail
least
behind their
some of
necks or
them do.
whatever. That would be like the most likely thing. You look at shots like this, like these are, you can tell this cave thing is like particularly smoky and lumpy. Like this one's very smooth, but this is the lumps indicative of the like cloud thing that like Luffy has in Gear 4th and like Lucci does and stuff. So I just would not be surprised. Emu is that huge thing from the end of Thriller Bark. Now there's I've heard people talking about that. Maybe Emu just goes walking around Thriller Bark sometimes in the Florian Triangle as like in their true form.
That's why things disappear.
I mean, it's not impossible, but I mean, again,
But,
I would
like-
rather that not be the case because I like just mysteries in the world of One Piece. But
Imagine
I
if
don't
it was literal. Like we had that scene where like Roger's there, and it's like, Odin, why the hell do you look so weird and shadowed?
yeah,
Momonosuke had that shadow thing too, and Punk
he
has
did
it.
for quite a while. Yeah.
Like father, like son.
Makes sense. All right, so let's get to a prime piece of Hactor right now. So,
yes.
as
The
luck
glory
would have it, ladies and gentlemen, there just happens to be a hole in the wall, and who spots the most secret of things
I
happening?
don't understand why the people are saying this is a coincidence, though. You could just take a bite out of the wall.
I
right?
mean, that thought occurred to me as well. He could have made the hole himself, but I mean, yeah, I guess Wapol's thought process there could have been that, like, you know, I'm in Marie Joie. Like, I want to like spy on what like the important people
Cobra,
are doing.
He hates Cobra, so he's jealous of Cobra getting a private audience, so he wants to spy on it.
That's a plausible read. I will just mention one counter argument though that like look at Wapol. He knows. You know, this might actually be bad logic. I was gonna say he knows like how bad an idea it is to have like insider info on the world government. But to be fair, he didn't know that Eam existed. So, like, he was surprised that this was the case. Any other piece of information that he found this way would not have necessarily been a death sentence for him, like this one happens to be. So, him making the
for
whole...
all he knows, right? He was like,
Mhm.
that darn Cobra, he's going to ask for, like, a tax break for Arabasta the Celestial Tribute. I want in on this. Like,
I mean,
so...
I guess I'll say that like people knew that Cobra was getting an audience with him. Like, I'll just like, why does Wapol in particular care about spying on? I mean, I don't know. He does hate Cobra.
There is that panel where like he mocks Vivi about Cobra, and we do know like he hates Cobra for telling him off about Dragon and the Lost Reverie, where he slaps Vivi around.
Yeah, so. I would give this only the faintest edges of convenience piece, but the kind that aren't a bad thing. Like, every story is full of plot conveniences. It's a matter of degree. This is nothing egregious. So
my bigger thing is, before I saw Wapol with Morgans and Vivi later on, I thought it would be Stelly who witnesses something. Because Stelly or Steady or whatever. Because he's the one who was like, I want to sit on the throne, and he's Saba's brother, so it would have made sense for him to be loitering around, wanting to see the throne again, because he wants to sit on it, and then he sees his brother doing something, and he has to go on the run. I think that would have been cool character development for Steady and Sabo, but we know that didn't happen. So
indeed, and Stelly continues to be one of my sort of... I'm not a big fan of Sabo himself, because for many reasons. Stelly, however, I find extremely entertaining, and I really like. I like his role in the story as just an unapologetic, you know, social climbing piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So more of that from that guy. He's cool.
It's probably best that we landed with Wapol because he's got the established relationship with Vivi and stuff anyway. So.
I mean, we'll talk about some more convenience piece momentarily, but we'll get to that in a sec. So okay, so Wapol knows he's seen Eam, or at the very least, I mean, it appears Wapol saw Eam. That's the important thing, that he found out. Oh God, they're gonna kill me. No one's supposed to do that. Something like that. It's the biggest skeleton in the government's closet. There it is. I don't even want to know who that was. They will end me. So Wapol does not seem to know who Eam is. He just knows that like an Eam exists, and there's something up with that. Yeah, these guys are all with Morgans right now. We already know that from previous chapters. Okay, so the grand round table in the council chamber. It seems that King Cobra and Wapol are not present. Where'd they go? We were told they're not attending. Okay, perhaps King Cobra. I mean, these are dialogue, not particularly important, but blah blah blah. The speech was drained. Blah blah blah. He maybe thinks his job is done since the warlords were approved. Maybe that's so they're like speculating as to reasons why Cobra isn't here. Whatever. Let us move to the remaining matters on the agenda. Now that, and of course, Neptune and Riku are a little more wise. They're a little more with it. They're like, something doesn't seem right here. We've got a pregnant moment of silence from them. Now then, concerning the coalition of the 4 northern nations calling for independence, obliterate them all at once, no doubt. I wonder what
like they kind of mock Cobra for his sickness here.
Do they?
Speech must have drained him. Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's
He's
true.
Low energy Cobra.
Low energy Cobra.
And they laugh.
Oh, so true, so true.
It's the American guy doing it too.
It's very
it's
true.
Amber.
Influenced by some of our great presidents, no doubt about it.
Oh, you know his first line? I think Viz missed this.
Yeah.
I'm not certain, but
King
his
Hamburger.
first line is like, I never like. It's a direct quote from Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I may walk slowly, but I never walk backwards.
Yeah, something like that.
It's literally a word for word quote from Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if it's cool too.
Little known fact: Lincoln spoke Japanese.
Crunchyroll definitely missed it.
Yeah, sure.
when they did it.
He said that line in Japanese at the Gettysburg
yeah.
Address, as I recall. It was a legendary moment.
It was such a weird moment where
Yeah.
he's like literally, it's probably why he was shot. He just started.
Yeah, that's what it was. No, thank you, sir. Okay, Shirahoshi. All right, so they're wondering where they went. That's fine. Off go the mermaid lads. Shirahoshi conference is almost over. Let's go to Red Port, so we don't have to deal with these celestial dunces here. And yep, they're
So I think the Japanese was like celestial dragon in kanji, but the reading was changed to like
dunce or something.
Yeah, to like baga.
That's
I
funny.
chose dunce because it starts with a D.
And that's why anime is a inferior medium to manga, because you literally cannot make that joke in anime.
I mean, you can. You're like, we just did it, but like, I mean,
Well, you
like,
have to
know,
explain
you
the whole
would-
thing. You're
yeah.
not going to have the. Well, I guess you could put the word in text on the screen, I guess, in kanji, but you would have to.
like they did Laugh Tale.
Yeah, I mean,
that
yeah,
one
I mean
episode.
that's the only way you can convey that information. You have to literally show, because it's an inherently text-based,
Yeah.
distinction. It doesn't exist in just
Reveal.
audio. But anyway, Shirahoshi wanted to say goodbye to Princess Vivi. She's gone. Okay, there you go. And there she is. Whoa! Here she is. That giant forehead is as big and beautiful as ever. What's the big idea? You better untie me. Whose orders are you following? Okay, if they're in Pangea Castle somewhere. I'll tell the whole world about this. Not if you're chained up in a Tenryubito sex dungeon for the rest of your life, you won't, Vivi. Which is definitely what's going to happen to her. Okay, hey there, you're being too forward. Okay, remember these guys? Remember these epic characters? I remember them. Jabra and Khalifa.
This
Khalifa.
is the first thing, or one of the first things that deconfirms Jabura, which is.
Oh,
alternate
right. That was what it
word
was called
for-
for a while. Jabra. Yeah, I remember that. Anyway, they have some plot, like some character appropriate dialogue that don't really matter at all. Khalifa, no one's gonna help you once your disappearance is known. You live the rest of your life like a pet. I will say that I do like. I haven't studied this in detail. The font being used here. Did you guys make your own font for this,
The
Fizo?
background font is going to be Oda. The foreground font is us.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, there appears to be like a clear distinction between the fonts here. Like this A here is clearly different from this A. So Oda's giving them like character specific fonts for like the different titles between these guys. So I wasn't sure I'd ever noticed him doing that before. It's the first time I've noticed, but now it kind of makes me wonder if I went back and looked. I thought everybody had the exact same font all the time, but I don't know. Oh, and there's Bluno, everyone's favorite character back there, and Kumadori, I think. All the great. Oh yeah, there they are. And Dorky, bro, my man Fukuro, and all the best characters here. CP9, love them. Okay, is Shirahoshi all right? Here we go. Seriously, now's not the time to be worried about others. Little Missy, we received word that more trouble broke out around her earlier. Okay, blah, 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 but she was okay. Thank goodness. All right, great. She's fine. The punks who assaulted the Celestial Dragon that was trying to kidnap the Mermaid Princess boldly proclaimed their victory, giving their names and everything, giving their social security number, giving their home address, leaving their license information. The guests in the courtyard were stunned. Indeed, we're members of the Straw Hat Fleet. Okay, so we're building some Straw Hat reputation stuff here. That's fine.
This was before Luffy was proclaimed admiral.
Or Yonko. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
But he's still
can
the
you imagine- This might have actually weighed in on why they decided Luffy above Law and Kid.
That's a good point. Also, Oh, and the reason they weren't like murdered on the spot was because that other what's his name, Don Quixote,
Yeah,
the guy, he like acted for them. Yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah, and then they ran off. 'cause they're
Right.
pirates.
Did
And
they
there would
like
be
leave Murray's
There could be
Law?
no retribution on them because they're pirates. Like,
Right.
They don't have a country to worry about. Although Sai came as the escort of
Yeah, you
Kano
actually
Kingdom. I
definitely
want to
could
know,
do. And
the
fucking the guy
Kano
is.
Emperor is like, I have nothing to do with this guy. Leave me alone.
That's a little bit convenient there. I really think you could definitely punish the associated kingdoms. Like, you think that that what's his face that Leo won't care if we murder King Riku, for example, or
Yeah.
torture his family or something like that? Whatever, or economically sanction them. Whatever is appropriate.
I
in the
think there's
situation.
plausible deniability with pirates.
I suppose. Okay, so the guests in the courtyard were stunned. Meanwhile, at the home of the gods, Fujitora's action helped the revolutionary army free the slaves, and that pissed off Rokugyu, who loves slavery. He's the #1 slavery guy. He's all about that shit. He was not happy that he let some of his prime cattle get away. So Fujitora, doing his goody two-shoes thing as always. You gotta ask the question with Fujitora. I know that he's doing the thing of like being like the good guy working from on the inside to change the institution, but I do think it is reasonable to ask, like, they do some horrific things like all the time in the people you're defending. So you sure you want to, like, why did he choose to be an admiral, knowing that he would be directly under the service?
Like, he was like drafted straight into
Yeah,
admiralship.
exactly, directly into admiralty.
Maybe he had
to
no
work
idea.
for the
Maybe he was
Tenryubito.
like just an average citizen and had no clue, and then like was drafted.
Like
And
Garp,
was like,
Garp's got his
wow,
excuse.
This place sucks.
Garp worked his way up the ranks as far as we know, and he is they talked about he's a vice admiral, which means he does not have to just slavishly obey everything that they tell him to do. Although, honestly, I've always thought that was kind of like a bullshit excuse. Like, if the
it depends,
Tenryubito...
he's not the direct subordinate.
Well, not that, but okay, the Tenryubito, they just like are mad at Garp. Okay, I will order Sakazuki to tell you what to do, and then he will give an order to Garp to do something. And I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Would he do it?
You could. I mean, I guess he would. If you tell Garp to do that, he might just run away and not do anything. I guess he is that kind of guy. So,
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. Okay. Anyway. So Reverie is crazy. I know everyone's fighting. Okay. Cool. Like a pet.
I did want to comment on the Fujitora thing.
Oh, please.
It's very unclear whether like Fujitora like went around helping free the slaves literally,
Yeah.
or if he just stopped Ryukyu from attacking them,
Mhm.
or what these actions were that helped the revolutionaries. It's just he did, and
Right.
it's not clear if they fought or just argued or quarreled or whatever.
And I guess this
But they
helps
went at it.
excuse.
Yeah.
We've got a resident admiral jobber, Rokugyu, to continually lose to everyone that he comes in contact with. But Fujitora probably like wasn't even trying to fight them seriously. He was. I mean, we saw that visibly. So
don't free all the slaves and make life better.
yeah,
Oh.
that's his thing. And thank you, Lolidix DX, for 2 months.
Thank you, Baxter.
I'm not sure I buy the agenda that the Ryukyu and stuff are just weak. Like,
I know people play it up a bit. It's just that it's
Yeah.
a typical thing of like he hasn't. All his appearances have been like losses or draws where they get away, and he's supposed to be an admiral. I mean, we remember what the admirals were like when they first showed up early on in
Yeah.
One Piece. It was insane. They made incredible impressions all 3 times pre-time skip, and I just think in contrast to that, especially Rokugyu feels very underwhelming by comparison. But I mean, whatever. He's a strong guy. They hired him for a reason.
could you imagine if, like, at the end of Eni's lobby where they've like changed the tides of the water, and
Yeah.
instead of like Kuzan being like it means our complete defeat, he just like puts his hand in the ice and freezes the entire ocean.
He definitely
including
could have done
Mary.
that if he wanted to. Let me see here. Ranos was saying it's straining a credulity that the Marines aren't all bad people when the government is this insanely evil. I'll push back on that a little bit because the thing is, the world government is, I feel, very decentralized. And also, don't forget, in the world of One Piece, not everybody has, like, a telephone. They don't know what everybody's doing. So, just for example, Smoker is the archetype of the good Marine early on in the story. I mean, there were others, like Kobe and whatever, but, like, Smoker was from, like, a very provincial area of, of the world government. He was from, Rogue Town. And, like, he probably had no idea about like the higher level management that like in Shao Bondi Archipelago, the Tenryubito were going down and like buying slaves. Now he may have heard about it, but at the same time, remember, Luffy himself admitted most people in the world see the Marines as good guys. That is key, I think, to the understanding here. Most Marines are actually good people that are protecting the world.
They control the information too, and they control who travels where, who travels to which blue, and all that.
Yep, they sure do. They sure do. So it's, I mean, you know, and Oda has made it very clear that like the way that he's constructing the world, the lower level like grunts out in the field are like neutral, good, evil, like they're their own people, mostly trying to do good things if they're in the Marines. And then the further up you go, the more involved with like the political machine of like controlling information, controlling the whole world, enslaving the people they want to. And yeah, I think they aren't aware
like,
of that much.
Even in real life, people like there are real like armies and police forces and just like governments and stuff which people serve, but like not everyone who serves them are evil. Like I would say a lot of armies out there like have good people in them, but like they end up
maybe their leaders are evil you know, killers or something. Yeah, certainly possible. Yeah, so there you go. I mean, whatever. I just don't think like you're really gonna look at Garp and say like Garp is evil. Garp doesn't do anything he doesn't want to do. Garp is Garp is the guy. He is a good man who is in the Marines, and his biggest crime is like not giving a shit most of the time.
He's pretty abusive to his grandson.
Base department, based in Red Pill. He made him strong. What can I say?
Throws him into like a friggin' forest.
It was tough love. It was tough love. Okay, so let's continue along. So Vivi is sneezing and coping about, I'll have to use my extremely high power level. I'll use all my Dori keys to escape these CP9 or CP0 agents now. Cope, unbelievable cope.
Badass. She could have escaped.
Yeah, she's really been training her hockey since then. I've no doubt about that.
Can you imagine if she's just literally wiped the floor with all of CP0?
I would find it to strain believability. All right, but anyway, here comes Big Dick Wapol, baby. Spare me. I didn't see a thing in. Finally, we've gotten to the good part of the chapter. Okay, spare me. Bam, through the wall he comes. Didn't see a thing. Wapol. Out of the way, he says, eating the wall as he goes. Okay, this is my chance. Move already. You'll never take me alive. And, of course, this is a massive convenience that he just happened to directly be in the path of Vivi, who was just captured here. Total chance that Vivi got away. Actually bullshit. But whatever. Who cares? We're moving on. It was, like, a little bit funny, so I don't care.
Vivi's eye on the far right isn't colored in, and it bothers me.
Oh, yeah, they're like the lines are kind of weird between the both of them.
Yeah, one of them's really thick and dark, and one of them's really light. And I want to see what Viz's look like, but it's very weird.
Yeah. Oh, and people are saying that this clearly is a Will of P situation. Wapol. Yeah. Okay, that explains it. The Will of P is at work here, and he did it. Nicely done, Wapol. Okay, so Chapapa. Oh, a line from our base Doriki counter. I really hope we count some Dorikis sometime soon. Best thing Oda ever did in the series. And Bluno, what was that? Oh, cool. Was it King Wapol? Wait a sec, Vivi's gone. Okay, here we go. Oh, darling, here comes the best character, Gold D. Igger, and she is my favorite character. But
Gold Dig.
Gold Dig. She's got like her name in Japanese is like the equivalent of Gold Digger. It's something like that. So it's been localized, but
yeah. She also sneaks in the word universe in whenever she can because she's like Miss Universe.
In Japanese or in English or both?
In both. I mean, she doesn't do it in this chapter by coincidence.
Yeah.
But, like she sometimes, she says universe randomly.
Indeed. So okay. Oh, darling, I've been looking for you. Where the devil have you been? And who's that young lady with you? Hey, Wapol, how much further are you gonna go? As far as it takes. I'll run to the ends of the world if I have to. Sounds good to me. Let's go, says Vivi, to which our based Queen of the Universe says, don't tell me you're running away with a mistress. Eloping to start a life on the run. That's hilarious, and I love that. Now, why does Wapol not just, like, drop her? I don't feel that there's a good answer to that.
She's in his mouth. What's he gonna do?
Yeah, I guess she's just got... Well, why doesn't he chew her and kill her? You know, I'll ask that question. Why doesn't he bite down and just murder her? You know, why would he not do that?
He's not that much of a douche.
He ate his brother in the movie. I recall. Why doesn't he want to absorb her and become half like cute princess? I'm just saying.
What, like he goes on the run as a princess, no one will recognize him.
That, hey, you know, I've heard worse plans. Okay, well, he didn't eat Vivi, even though he definitely could. Okay, the true hack to here is that she happened to be directly in his line of fleeing, and he grabbed her by, like, pure chance. This is the way that Vivi got away? Okay.
Right? This is like Luffy being hit by the lightning and stuff like that. This is like, people... Fortune smiles on the...
I get... Oh, Fortune smiles on the D members, doesn't it? Which we now know Vivi to be... Fucking Christ! Oh,
Chapter 1, baby!
Chapter 1. It was all planned.
Well, I was gonna, this is how anal I am. It originally said the ends of the earth. And I was like, but the One Piece world...
It doesn't have ends. It's round. This is known. This is a factual... Well, I guess
Wapol probably means like as far away as possible, and Vivi probably means I'll go to Laughdale, meet up with the Straw Hats or something.
Oh, get the fuck out of here! goddammit. That's not what she's talking about. She's
maybe.
Okay, I guess I would double check.
Why is she so willing to
go
run away here?
Well, I mean, obviously, because she's just trying to. She'll take any excuse to get away from CP0 at this moment.
Right,
Clearly.
But she doesn't know her father's dead. Like, wouldn't her first thing to be like go and find Pell and Chaka or
that is an excellent point.
Her first point is to let's leave, let's blow this joint, let's ditch Arabasta. Who cares?
Are you telling me it sounded a little hacked to you right now? A little hacked?
No, it sounds fine. It just depends what's her motivation. Like, maybe she was like, okay, I will never live a life in peace now that CP agents are after me. So I can't be the Princess of Arabasta, therefore I'll run off and be a pirate or something. I don't know.
Well, she's just revisiting her desire to run away on a whirlwind adventure, the pirate princess that she is. That must be it. Chapter 1.
It could be something like that.
Or maybe she just has the hots for Wapol, as we all do.
Yeah, maybe this really is a mistress running away. What I'm curious about is, do you think Vivi and Sabo will encounter each other here, or do you think that Wapol and Vivi will get away together and Wapol...
that's a good point. Well, we last saw Sabo was back on Kamabaka Kingdom with Kuma and Ivankov, or not Kuma, with Dragon now. And we know that Vivi is wherever. She's in she's with Morgans and his guys, wherever their headquarters is. I think because of that, she probably will run into Sabo like as they escape. And in that moment, he'll tell her about, like, maybe he won't even have it's now been revealed to us, the audience. If the two meet, we can infer that he communicates this information to her. And so she, like, has all the lore updates that she will need to, move the plot forward however she needs to.
Do you think she'll get the lore updates, or do you think that will just be, like, kept and she won't know why her father died?
It doesn't really matter. I think she will get the update. She will get the update. Because I think, like, Sabo's whereabouts are a little bit of a mystery. I think it would kind of work well if the two, like, meet up and sort of escape together and then separate. I mean, maybe it was specifically stated that that didn't happen before. I could be forgetting. But if I had to guess, that's what I think is going to happen. And we are definitely not cutting away, I don't think, because I think a couple things need to happen still to finish up Reverie, even if it's just, like, the wrap-up of, like, okay, we escaped and now we're here. You need at least a little more of this backstory stuff until we get back to, like, actual events in the present of the story. I anticipate at least half a chapter, because we've really hit all the important stuff now. We definitely can now get back to the main story, as God help me, it's been months, please.
I do want to point out that Morgans at this time, we can see in chapter 905, he's actually he's on the red line. He watches as Shirahoshi goes on the gondola upwards. So maybe we can have a scene of Cobra, of Wapol and Vivi encountering Morgans down there.
Sure, that would make a lot of sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I think the flashback is ending next chapter, and we're returning to Egghead.
I hope so.
Maybe we'll check in on Garp and see how that fight ended.
Oh yeah, that's right. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think all other loose ends have been tied in this tour around the world, and we're going back to Egghead very soon.
And Descenta here makes a good point. Last time we saw her, Vivi was sure that Sabo didn't kill her dad, and Wapol saw the whole thing happen so he can tell her everything. That's certainly true too.
So maybe that's just Wapol telling her then.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's true.
Maybe
that
Wapol literally tells her you're a D. Like maybe.
Oh
she
yeah, he saw a lot of that, didn't he? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good. So she actually doesn't need to meet him.
Yeah.
In that case, I suppose it does lower the odds of them necessarily. I still think they probably will run into each other, but I could be wrong about that. We'll see. We'll see.
I mean, then why wouldn't they go together? Like, would they just?
Well, I think they might meet up like as
I
want to
go
next
and meet
chapter.
Luffy, and I'm gonna go and meet Dragon, and so they.
This is why I kind of don't love this way that Vivi was saved here, because it's so purely chance, extremely unlikely, just pure like. Just the author is writing in this convenience for her to get out of the situation. If there was some sort of like Sabo
Pangea Castle isn't that big, okay? There's just one whole way.
Get the
from
fuck
the
out of
throne
here,
room
God damn it!
Straight to the only guest room.
The one guest room. Yeah. Okay. Now Wapol. Now I'll say this: Wapol himself has committed no crimes. Wapol is based as hell, and I'm delighted that he is getting some shine to get into the series because I fucking love Wapol, and he's totally sick. So I'm glad he's here doing stuff, and he's really funny. This is really, really funny that Wapol is fleeing for his life after spying on guys and just doesn't want to die.
They don't even know he's done anything wrong yet. This is what's making him sus.
Well, I guess that's
back
true.
To the meeting, I don't think anyone would ever have known who was on the other side of the wall.
Well, just to confirm or to see what we can learn about that, the plot point is there is the little like action line here. They inferred that someone was here. I think something was noticed of this.
What's up with their hockey? How did they sense Wapol but not Sabo?
I know who was just like lurking
possible
around
to
the corner.
like suppress hockey?
And I remind everyone, they're guarding the most important secret in the entire goddamn world. And oops, he slipped. How the fuck did Sabo get in? They just had like bullshit guards. I guess so. That's the answer. Okay, whatever. Implausibility is a factor, but it's not the end of the world.
They were just so focused on Cobra and his immense.
They might have been distracted because Cobra was spitting facts. He was spitting some lore, so they might have in fact been a little distracted right there.
Yeah.
Wapol has never done anything wrong morally or legally. So true.
Shut up, bitch!
No, I meant to say
Easy money!
Certainly not his factory upon factory of child, indentured servants making his toys for his empire. That's nothing more right than that. All right, we have reached the end of the chapter. Actually, do I have any more? Do I have any meme images I forgot to show? Let me just double check here. No. I think that's all of them. Wait. Let me see. Is there anything else we can laugh about? Here's a meme. Okay, this doesn't really matter. Go to rules, hack to sucks. Talking pirates. Haha. Good joke. Okay, that's fine. More importantly, okay, now Oda did foreshadow. I got to admit, Oda foreshadowed Nika long before Nika actually happened. Okay, I think this was, when was this? This might have been during Punk Hazard or something. I can't remember, but I must admit, Nika was foreshadowed long ago. With this line from Usopp right here. Nobody wants the human fruit. So true, because that is both true in the lore of the story. They want it gone, and it's also true because Nika is cringe. Okay? I'm glad we can all agree on that, and that we can address that Oda foreshadowed this specific plot point like 500
chapters.
Why
it's so funny why he gave Usopp that?
Yeah, why is that?
Because Usopp is partially based on Pinocchio, and he wants
who
to be
became a real boy, became a human.
Yeah.
He could use the human fruit himself now, couldn't he? Interesting.
Go to
chapter 1, baby. That's a chapter 1
Thank
situation.
you, Baxter.
No doubt.
Yeah. Very
Okay.
thought through.
All right, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's check to the poll. Yes, silhouette piece or shadow piece? It's time to decide. Okay, let's pull it up. So let's see what the people voted on this episode of Talking Pirates. Let's see. We've got, it's right on the edge. Holy shit, 49% Goda, 51% Hackta. It tipped over, and we've got 99,000 bits voted Goda by Livesy Knight, and 120,000 for Chernobite. Oh my god! The stakes have never been higher. Look, actually, 52 voters on Goda, but 29 on Hackta. The people just went in on Hackta
I'm
who believe in Hackta.
amazed that you're such a maverick. They have no idea what you're gonna pick.
They have no idea. I keep them guessing every day, and that's how you should do it. Okay, people, get ready to start vibrating. All right. Oh, Chernobite bet 60K twice on accident. And you voted for, you were the Hackta. Well, it's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out. Okay, so now I need to pull up. All right, everyone, it's time to start swaying the vote and manipulating the system to your benefit. Spam Godas and spam Hacktas in the chat. Begin immediately. Make your voice heard as to how you feel about the chapter, and the truth shall be delivered from on high, from me directly to you momentarily. Sad about indeed. Okay, all right, the people are beginning. All right, as you do that, we will begin analyzing in our rapid fire pace as we do right now. Chapter 1085, the death of Nefart. Wait, T Cobra. There it is. Haha. Okay, Year of Franken continues strong. That's an excellent thing. Turtles, I like Turtles. I do like it. Okay, that's pretty good. Translated by TCB scans. Those guys are cringe. Hackta. Don't like that. Reference to Uta. Okay. Wait, that wasn't a reference to Uta. Not a reference to Uta. Cringe. Hackta. Don't like that. Okay, Cobra is kind of okay. Moo, confusing. Confusing, make my head hurt. Me not smart enough to understand. That's Hackta. Dumb it down for me, Oda, please. Emu is spitting facts, as is Cobra. This is kind of a cool shot of the throne. I like that. I like the cracks in there. Cobra is revealing information. Something about Queen Lily, 800-year blunder. Okay, lore. Lore is happening. Poneglyphs. Lily did something. The Poneglyphs got out. There were secrets. And there was things happening. Okay, very epic. Excuse me. It was a mistake. Was it a plan? It was calculated. They're gonna kill Cobra now. They're getting ready to shoot him. That says gacha-cha. They're going to shoot this man in the face. The truth was left in the letter. What was it? What was her name? I want to know her name, Cobra. Please tell me her true and honest name. Her name was a D. The D's. The Nefartes. They've all got D's in their names. Oh, God, it's cringe. How could you have done this to me? Okay, no, it's actually not that bad. It's actually kind of acceptable. Whatever, we went over it in great detail. Fire Fist, here comes Sabo. Oh God, Hackta is spiking right now as Sabo enters the screen. There he is. Shadow piece, silhouette piece. Okay, kind of cool. Now the Gorosei being strong, you might have strong feelings about one or another. I'm kind of mid on that. What can I say? Cobra being dead. Picture taken. Okay, excellent. I like that. I like Soy Face. Soy Face are cool, just like me for real. Cobra being carried, running away. They've got the D's. Vivi, confirmed D. Secret names every day. Oh my God, everyone has a secret name. Law is a secret name. Ace had a secret name because his mother was gonna name him the thing, and then it changed. It became, it's a whole retcon type situation. All right, chapter 1.
I'm Feast D.O., by the way.
Feast D.O. is here in with the secret name revealed after all this time. Oh yeah, Gold Roger was the original. I forgot. Okay, flashback. That's kind of acceptable. What? Characters actually discussing themselves and talking about their personal lives like a tiny little bit? How could this be happening? It just doesn't make sense. That's clearly Goda did not write this. Goda would never do that. Sad, but okay, kind of funny. All right, no, stone-faced, absolute stone-face, hearty handshake, business-like affirmation. Nicely done. Okay, Stab. I like Sabo getting hurt. I see pain. He truly is Sadbo on this day, no doubt about it. Okay, big shadow man biting. Cobra being kind of cool. Nefertari, D, Lily, doing things and saying words. Unconfirming, strange kind of paneling. Where did Sabo go? Why did he teleport away? And what happened? I don't know. Waffle through the wall, looking at stuff. That's kind of cool, I guess. Waffle is really scared. He's funny. I like when guys are scared. I like when I feel good and they feel bad. Haha, I'm a sociopath. That's what I like about One Piece. King Hamburger is a funny man. I like that guy. Okay, Shirahoshi, whatever, she's fine. These guys are cool. Big forehead. Okay, forehead too small. Go back to Old Piece when she was giant forehead. That was good. This is cringe. Vivi, CP0. Okay, they're kind of cringe, but okay, we've got my dorky man. My dorky man with the big numbers. I like that about him. We're addressing the Straw Hats, okay? There's some lore going on here. Freeing the slaves, okay? I mean, slaves are very useful. You typically don't want to give away your slaves, but I guess I'll let it go. It's fine. For a cringe cope lord such as Fujitora, he would do that. Jabura is lounging. He's loving his life. He's loving his body. When all of a sudden, bam! Here comes Waffle being a silly, funny, munchy boy and freeing Vivi. Now that's peak convenience piece right there. No doubt about it. and he grabs her, and he swims away. And I gotta say, this is a strong Hacta moment for not devouring Vivi and mangling her body brutally bloody on screen, just leaving her tattered body parts strewn in your wake. That would, I think, have been the best way to write this chapter, but he cringed and he didn't do it. Unimpressive, not nicely
He's
done.
his mistress, though.
The mistress is funny. That's true. We like the mistress. We like the laughs. We like the funny Miss Universe stuff. That's all good stuff. Okay, good. And we've reached the end of the chapter, and it's time to decide. And so, there can only be one outcome from this chapter. Frankly, I think Oda planned this outcome since chapter 1. It's Hacta. It's Hacta! It's Hacta playing since chapter 1. I just followed the chart, everybody. I just consulted the chart, and it told me to vote Hacta, and so I did. I don't even make my own decisions.
You were like, this was great, this was hilarious, this was fun, this was
Oh, I liked it so much. Look, and if you can't feed your family, I'm just saying that's on you. That's not on me. That is not a Talking Pirate specific issue. So Chernobite, congratulations on accidentally voting with double 60,000. You just won 120,000, my man.
I think you just felt pity for him double that thing.
You know, I did. That was a fun narrative bit to it. But look, hey, 51%. I'm a slave to democracy. What can I say? And yes, democracy is about who owns the most buckaroo bits that they can use to sway 1%. The vote. Yes, by 1%. That's how democracies are supposed to work, right?
They buy their elected representatives, right?
Gabriel lost everything. This is such disrespect to Silly Piece. Honestly, I feel betrayed. I'm so sorry. But also...
You know, we're living in a society...
And that's on you. That's on you. All right, Silly Piece. All right, look, I ain't gonna front, everybody. There were some good things about this chapter. You know, it wasn't all bad. But look, come on. With the abundance of Sabo in this chapter, is he the worst? No, he's not. I like seeing him get hurt. That's fun. Like the D-lore stuff, it's like, it's okay. It's okay. Kind of makes me worry a little bit about where things are going to go. The Eam lore was, I mean, honestly, not much new, you know. I mean, there was a little bit of more about, like, this Lily character that we're learning more about the specific way the poneglyphs got out, and, like, having some of the D-lore confirmed was fine. I'm glad that that's happening. But, you know, can it really stand up to the waves of pure Sabo panel time? I just don't know. I just don't think that it can. And also the art, you know, could have been a little tighter, you know. It's just, Scuff Piece continues strong. Not all the panels are bad, but like, look at this right here. The line work it's questionable. You know, what can I say? There was a couple little facts, kind of like some more foggy facts were solidified. There was like a little bit of learning, you know, that wasn't bad. But did I love everything about this? I would not say that I loved it. I would say that it was good and that I enjoyed it. But come on, people, when you're going for Goda, you got to go hard. And the funniest, best part about the chapter for me was the Wapol memes, and I did like those a lot. But I just feel like that wasn't enough to make it Goda. You know, what can I say? Just wasn't feeling it. Just was not feeling Goda this chapter.
I can kind of understand. I can kind of. But for me personally, I think that, yeah, we didn't get all the answers we wanted about the D. I think that we're getting to the point where the next time D is teased to be answered, it needs to be answered.
I would like that. I would like that. How many more chapters do we want of Luffy being like, oh yeah, guys, that dream of mine, mama, that dream of mine, let me tell you something. Gonna do that dream of mine, right, guys? And they'll say in very vague terms, oh yeah, okay, very excited about that dream of yours.
That's dream.
D, the D dream, that, oh wow, that's, it's happening.
Yeah, okay, so basically I felt that the chapter was like, yeah, we didn't get the D reveals, like all the D reveals. We didn't get like I never expected us to see like Imu's design at this point.
I mean, I was a little bit hoping, but I was expecting not to see it.
Yeah, what we did get, I'm really happy that we got the Queen Lily stuff. I feel like all of this Arabasta lore finally makes sense with a lot of like, there's a lot of question marks about it at the end of the arc of like why a world government.
I mean, listen, that's all fine. I don't dislike any of that stuff, but like the Alabasta stuff to me seems like totally arbitrary. It's fine. It's not bad or anything. Obviously, Alabasta has connections with poneglyphs, but like, you know who else does? Like Skypiea. Like they've got poneglyphs too, you know. And so why isn't this? It's arbitrary. It's fine.
They weren't friends of the world government. They were hunted down to annihilation.
The Skypieans.
well, yeah, the giants, like they all died defending. Shandora fell defending the Poneglyph. Whereas Arabasta
right, that's
was
true.
a world government nation, so it's the only Poneglyph hiding nation that wasn't like severely discriminated against or destroyed.
Well, you might be right about that. That's fine. I mean, I don't really begrudge the
A
Alabasta
lot
connections.
of
They're
the
fine.
information we get, it lines up with thingy. A lot of it is something which, like, stuff which you could deduce or kind of have a feeling of, okay, this is probably how it plays out with Sabo. He stumbles in right after Emu kills him, and so a lot, like, none of it was super surprising to me, but it was very satisfying to see play out.
Well,
So I really enjoyed the chapter, but I can understand how it can be a bit disappointing and convenient.
I mean, the Wapple thing is like the biggest one.
Yeah.
Obviously. A little bit silly. It's okay. I know it's a cartoon. It's not, obviously, as I always say, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah.
It was just hacked.
And
What can I say?
really highlights is the personality of like the gags, especially near the end. Like,
Yeah.
I would say the character work is really shining here.
Mhm.
Like the characterization, the presentation is a little iffy in terms of like.
It's a
whereas,
little iffy, and the characters specifically that are involved in this are like, okay, the Gorosei, very little character, a lot of lore importance, little character. Cobra, not a titan of character himself. Like Wapol is the best
he
character
had
in the
a great
chapter.
moment where like he was like, "Oh, Luffy saved me too." Like, you would save me, and then Luffy would save me too, and then
That was all right. That was all right.
Yeah, this time he finally got to like he got to be left behind like he told Luffy before.
Yeah. But hey, if you want to call me picky with my Godas, so be it, people. But
Yes.
it's a premium
It's all
product. Goda.
subjective, and there is no Midda. So.
That's right. Midda does not exist, as we all know.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, everybody, I think we're done. Thank you for stopping by. We will convene. There should be a chapter next week, so we'll be back with another Talking Pirates. Very, very excited about it. Yeah, and of course, Fizo here of TCB. They do lots of fun work over there.
Thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for watching. I hope I wasn't too irritating.
Thank you. You were certainly not irritating. You provide valuable insight that I'm happy to have, and I think everyone else is as well. Awesome. So thanks again for stopping by. All right, see you guys next week. I'll be back. See you then. Bye.